This video is brought to you by Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC in Opelika. Get ready to smile.
Hello, baseball fans. You're watching On Deck with Tyler Redmond.
Well, hello everyone, and thank you for tuning in. It is officially Trade Deadline Day, and one of my favorite days of the year to get on here, talk baseball, because it's always chaos. Even if your team doesn't necessarily make a move, it's fun to watch things progress throughout the day. We've already seen a lot of big moves happen today across Major League Baseball. We've already seen the Braves make a couple of moves over the last 24 hours, really 36 hours, I would say. So a lot's going on already, and as we move forward through this live stream, more is going to happen, whether that be the Braves or whether that be other teams. And we're going to live react to those as much as we possibly can. I have my Twitter feed up, kind of giving me notifications as we go. Obviously, would love to hear from you in the chat, so please participate in the chat. This is a great day to be a part of it and react live to what's going on. Obviously, there's a lot to talk about across Major League Baseball. Some of the bigger moves that aren't Braves related include Luis Arias to Philadelphia, Adley Rutschman to the Red Sox. So already kind of some excitement as well as others. So there's a lot there. So at the end of the day, the real question is, are the Braves going to go out and get a starter? Well, last night, of course, they picked up Tyler Mahle, which a lot of people reacted negatively towards. This live stream was full of folks who were furious over that. And I thought it was a little bit of an overreact on their part, because I don't think that's the last move the Braves are going to make when it comes to starting pitching. It's certainly not the last move that they made in general, as today they went and got Brent Suter, which I actually really like that move. We'll talk about that here in just a moment. But again, a couple of big moves already at play, but a lot of people are still available. So I actually pulled up MLB Trade Rumors. Thank you to MLB Trade Rumors for this. They dropped the top 50 still available, and that's across all positions. But I've highlighted, I just wanted to give you a visual. If you can tell, all of the yellow that's highlighted there, those lines, those are starting pitchers that are still available, including Reed Detmers, Clay Holmes, Foster Griffin, Casey Mize, Emerson Hancock, Trevor Rogers, George Kirby, Brady Singer, Nick Lodolo, Shane Bieber, Max Scherzer, Hunter Green, and Jacob deGrom. So what we know out of that list, this is just highlighted straightforward. We already know Jacob deGrom, listen to this, declined to waive his no trade. He has full no trade protection, not just limited, where normally in a situation like that, you have 8 or 9 teams that you can say, I don't want to be traded to those folks, to protect yourself from being traded to a team that's not a contender or a team that maybe you have past history with that you don't really want to go to. He has full no-trade protection, as does Corey Seager. So pretty interesting for the Rangers. That's quite a dilemma that they're in, trying to offload cash, and the players don't want to be traded. So pretty interesting. But there are a lot of names, again, still available. We've seen a few starting pitchers get traded today. Robbie Ray was sent to the Padres. And Dustin May now to the Brewers, we heard very recently. So there's a lot of moves that have already happened. Robbie Ray was a guy that I really liked the Braves' chances of getting, so that's a little unsettling. But at the end of the day, again, a lot of moves still out there. Surely Alex Anthopoulos is working the phones, and I'm positive that we're going to see something happen. Again, I just listed off probably about 10 names that could be moved. Some better than others, no doubt, but Reed Detmers is still available. I like that move a lot. My top pick, Casey Mize, is still available. I struggle to believe, though they may want me to, I struggle to believe that the Tigers will not make a move and move Casey Mize. I really struggle to believe that. But it's not just starters that the Braves are going to be interested in. Today with Brent Suter, he's a reliever. The Braves traded infielder Nacho Alvarez to Anaheim. Nacho was a guy that we all thought could be the shortstop of the future at one point. never really worked out at the major league level, so I can't say I'm ultimately surprised by this move. He's kind of been floundering in AAA for quite a while, so not surprised there at all. Suter has a 4.12 ERA through 63 and a third. He's pretty interesting. Reverse split guy. I just kind of realized this. He is a power lefty, but he's actually a lot better against righties than lefties. The OPS for righties far lower than left-handed hitters. So pretty interesting there. I would imagine the corresponding move will be Danny Young. He's the other lefty reliever that's kind of at the bottom of the barrel in the Braves bullpen. I would imagine he'd be the one that finds himself gone. If not him, Victor Medeiros or somebody along those lines. I doubt it would be anybody else. So we'll see, but that would be my assumption that it would be him. But I like the move. It gives you some depth all in all. With left-handed relieving, I mean, think about how many times you've seen Dylan Lee pitch this year. This is going to allow the Braves to kind of have one more option that's a lefty that they can call on out of the pen where you don't have to use Dylan Dodd or Dylan Lee every day, right? That was supposed to be Aaron Bummer. We all know how that turned out. Now you have Brent Suter. I like the move, and I like it a lot, but there are still more relievers out there along with starters. So Mason Miller, top-notch reliever that would be out there. He is still available with the Padres. He's got a $4 million salary this year, arbitration eligible through 2029. Adrian Morejon is available as well with the Padres. So if you wanted to, if you can make that package deal, that'd be really solid. The Blue Jays have Jeff Hoffman available. If you remember, the Braves pretty much signed Jeff Hoffman to a free agent deal a few years ago pending a physical, and he did not pass the physical. So it would be kind of full circle for him to make his way back to Atlanta. Antonio Senzatela, sorry about that, with the Rockies is available. Kirby Yates, if you want to relive that, is available. Pete Fairbanks is available. Kenley Jansen, another former Brave, is available with the Tigers, and we all know they're selling right now. Jojo Romero just got off the board from the Cardinals. He is sent to the Brewers. And again, there's still guys that are available. We're going to mark them off as we go, but there's still plenty of guys that are out there. And I believe most of these guys are going to be moved. I mean, when you look at how many impending free agents we have that are still available, including Foster Griffin, including Casey Mize, including Trevor Rogers, including Brady Singer. There's a lot of guys that are impending free agents, which means it would only make sense to that team to offload it and get prospects back, especially if you're not competitive. That would be the logical thing to do. Granted, not every team acts in the logical way, but it would be the logical thing to do. I just saw the comment from Jake Hobby, Mason Miller is not going anywhere. I don't think so either, because the asking price is going to be through the moon. If he was an impending free agent, I would feel differently, but he is arbitration eligible through 2029. So we'll see. Again, I see people in the comments saying, hey, what are you talking about? The Padres are adding, and you're right, they are. This is purely MLB trade rumors, top 50 available that I'm just going through. And you're right, they're adding, so we should probably limit how much we're talking about them. You're absolutely right. However, there is still plenty available, right? So we just saw Robbie Ray off the board to the Padres, speaking of which. But Reed Detmers, Clay Holmes, Foster Griffin, Casey Mize, Trevor Rogers, George Kirby, Brady Singer, Nick Lodolo, Shane Bieber, Max Scherzer. There's still guys out there, and honestly, there's some that we're not thinking of, right? Like, if the Braves potentially could trade Joey Bart. They could trade Sean Murphy. So there's a lot of guys that we're not thinking of that, we're going to have to see what happens. And look, we talked a lot last night about the Los Angeles Dodgers. They're continuing to add. We saw him pick up a pitcher earlier today. His name escapes me, but we saw him pick up a pitcher earlier today. They're going to continue to add. The rumor was that they were potentially talking to the Pirates about Paul Skeens. I don't see that happening because the Pirates are adding as well. They just got Luke Weaver from the Mets. So it's a lot to keep up with, but obviously the Braves are going to need some help in their starting rotation. The Brewers are adding. They got Dustin May, Jojo Romero 17 minutes ago. And we're just kind of waiting to see what happens from here. let's see. Yeah, the Mets are offloading. So, I mean, when you look at teams that you could make a deal with, the Mets are one of those teams. And normally I would say that, well, in a trade deadline situation, you're not going to trade with a division rival, especially if you're the Mets. Why would you help the Braves? But if you can get some prospects back that, could benefit you in the future, why wouldn't you do it if you're the Mets? So we'll have to see how it goes. Let's see. We got some questions in the chat. A lot of folks tuning in for the trade deadline. While you're here, do us a favor and like the stream. It really does help us out quite a bit and gets us out there even more. So appreciate you guys tuning in. If you could like the stream, really would help us. I'm going to try to answer as many questions as we can. Remember, super chats are a guaranteed way to get your question in front of me. If it's anything like last night, today, the comments were kind of off the radar. So we have a computer dedicated to the comments today, so we're well prepared. But we'll see. A lot of folks want Joe Ryan. That's the one that we didn't mention. I don't know if Ryan is going to be available or not, but we'll see. I wouldn't mind it at this point. I just want a starting pitcher that's going to post up every fifth day and keep it competitive. And I defended Alex Anthopoulos last night with the move for Tyler Mahle purely because there's still time for him to go out and get a move that we all kind of really want, whether that be Casey Mize, whether that be Reed Detmers, whether that be George Kirby, whoever it may be. A solidified postseason starter is something that the Braves do need. What I don't want to happen, and this would be the kind of the downfall, is for the Braves front office to look at the rotation as it stands and see, okay, you have Chris Sale, you have Martin Perez, who, by the way, just flirted with a no-hitter the other day on 20 minutes of notice, and for the most part has been solid throughout this season, and Bryce Elder, and go, well, that's good enough for the playoffs. Those three and what we have in the pen, we can string this together and through the power of friendship make this happen. I don't want that to happen. I want the Braves to feel like they need more, and I feel like they know that, right? Like the media, Mark Bowman has basically said that it's clear that the Braves need a starter. It's been clear to me that they needed a starter since opening day, maybe even the offseason. I thought we were going to add a starter in the offseason. It didn't happen, especially when Schwellenbach went down. I really believed, oh, yeah, the Braves are going to go out and get a starter, and it just never happened. So hopefully in this rare time of having a trade deadline that you do have a lot of pitchers available, I hope that they take advantage of that, right? Because it's rare that you do have this many starting pitchers potentially available. And again, teams may sit on them. They may, right? Like we've seen it before where, remember when Chris Bryant wasn't traded at the deadline and it just went nowhere, right? You didn't even keep him beyond his contract. There's been situations like that. Shohei Ohtani is another example. The Angels kept Ohtani at the deadline purely to sell tickets, I guess, and didn't get anything for him when they could have gotten back the farm from a team, right? That could potentially happen with some of these guys. It would be stupid, but it could potentially happen. I don't think it will for the majority of them, but if AA is interested in a starting pitcher, the market is a seller's market right now. Or a buyer's market, rather. I apologize. A buyer's market, because you do have so many options. And the closer we get to the deadline, the more desperate these teams are going to become to sell a starting pitcher. And however, on that same token, the more starting pitchers we see go off the market, the more desperate a AA is going to be in buying one. So we'll see. But the Braves have got to make something happen here. We're going to have to see. Trade just came through a minute ago. The Cubs are acquiring reliever, I'm going to botch this name, Ryan Zephyrian in a trade with the Angels. The Cubs are adding two, so keep your eye on the Cubs. We shall see. But all in all, so far, I don't hate what the Braves have done. To be quite honest with you, which a lot of people do, and you're right to have your opinion. A lot of people hate that, what the Braves have done thus far. But here's what I'll tell you about that. I don't mind the Lane Thomas deal. I was talking with a friend of mine earlier today. The Lane Thomas deal makes sense. That's the one move that you're like, okay, sure up the outfield a little bit. He can platoon with Yastrzemski. Maybe even deepen your bench a little. That kind of shores it up. Mauricio can play everyday shortstop. I don't mind that at all. A lot of people wanted a solidified left fielder. Obviously, you'd want a solidified left fielder. But if you got a platoon out there, that can be successful. We saw it work in the early years of the 2020s and 21, 22 with Rosario and Duvall. We're familiar with that. And Yastrzemski's been solid for us this year. And Lane Thomas, I believe, it will be as well, against lefty pitching. So I like it a lot. I don't mind it, and again, with Thomas's stats against lefties, I like it a lot. That said, ever since then, the two moves that follow, I don't love. I don't hate them, but I don't love them. The Tyler Mahle move, I don't believe is a marquee move. I don't believe it is a October move. I don't think it is a postseason-minded move. I think it is a move to get you to the postseason and save your pitching, which I don't mind. All credit to Grant Holmes for what he's been able to do, balancing his bullpen role versus starting role over the past couple of years. This year, they've given him every opportunity to prove that he can be a starting pitcher in Major League Baseball, and I think he's an effective long reliever. I don't believe he's a starter. That third time through the lineup wrecks him every time, and it's rare that he makes it beyond the fifth inning. When he does, it's questionable, and I just don't see that lasting very long, and I don't think I see that lasting into the postseason. I don't want him to be your Game 3 starter in a postseason, which if he's not right now, it would be Bryce Elder, which I don't know that I love that either. Bryce has been solid for us this year in the regular season. We do see him get overwhelmed from time to time, but he's not terrible by any stretch. He's just not necessarily who you want to start a postseason game with your season on the line. So we'll see how it goes. I just got a comment a second ago asking about Sean Manaea. Sean Manaea is signed through 2027. He's making $75 million over 3 years. He's a free agent in 2028. He's got a 4.42 ERA, 91 innings. Last 5 games, he has pitched into the 6th inning in at least 3 of those. One, he only went 4 2/3. The other, he had 5 innings pitched. So he can cover innings. I still don't think he's going to be... I don't think he's going to be what you want in that role. The Braves aren't looking for a Sean Manaea. If you have Sean Manaea, you might as well throw out Mahle, because as much as people are getting on Mahle, if you had looked at Mahle's stats a week ago, you would have liked the move a lot more. His ERA wasn't at 5. It was 3.06 before his last start against the Padres, who are a pretty darn good offense. They seem to get us just about every time. I like the Mahle move. I just don't think it's a move for October. It's all about how you look at it. And for me, I don't look at it as, okay, that's my number 2 starter in the postseason. I look at it as, okay, that's my J.R. Ritchie spot, right? That's your spot where you've been calling up J.R. Ritchie, Owen Murphy, all these guys to fill in this role in and out, when in reality, you shouldn't be doing that, especially this late into the season. And credit to Jeremy Hefner. It is amazing that the Braves are in first place, considering how much the rotation has had to shift and change this year. We haven't exactly been consistent in that way. I firmly believe that the Braves are going to be active in this last 2 hours. We're sneaking up on 4 o'clock. I can't imagine that the Braves are done, especially with how much is available. There's too much available for them to not be available. But again, they've done enough. They have done enough in the past 3 days to shore up their lineup to a degree, to shore up their bullpen to a degree, to rest their bullpen to a degree. Mark Bowman keeps using the comparison of Richard Rodriguez to describe what they did this morning with Suter. It's an opportunity to rest the elite members of your pen and fine tune them for the postseason. And that could be very true. I'm not saying that it's not. I'm not saying that we're going to have to wait and see. But if that's the only move, I do think it's a disappointment. I do think that it's it is a one more year where the Braves just have not had it at the deadline. And you have to wonder, I saw somebody mention this on Twitter earlier, you have to wonder at a certain point, man, as good as AA was in the 2021 postseason, as good as AA was when he traded Vaughn Grissom for Chris Sale, as good as AA was when X, Y, or Z, you have to start wondering, man, are other general managers privy to we don't need to trade with him because he gets us every time? You kind of have to wonder. Bobby Walker says, my question is, Braves have had best start in franchise history and we need help. Let's see. So if not now, when? I agree with that. I kind of said a few weeks ago on the channel, you can't waste the start that this team had. You cannot waste it. And I still feel that way. I felt that way this entire season. I think the Braves know that they have to get something done in the next few hours, right? I think it's a matter of time before they do. But remember 2021, right? You had a flurry of moves there at the end. I was actually live streaming. I went back and watched that last night. All of a sudden it's like, oh man, we got Soler. Oh, Rosario, isn't he hurt? We got him. Richard Rodriguez, we got him. And Duvall, what? We had like 4 guys in like 30 minutes. It was nuts. So there's still a lot of time on the clock, and it's not just the Braves. Everybody's talking. Everybody's trying to hear offers and see what they can do. But you're right. If not now, then when? The window is not going to last forever. At some point it's going to go out. And for me, I know they have to do something. And it's been funny. Not funny. That might not be the right word. It's been interesting to watch over the last few months Alex Anthopoulos kind of dance around questions about starting pitching and say, well, we have really good internal options too. And, we're going to see what we have in those. When everybody and their mom knew that we needed starting pitching. Everybody knew. And I know why he's doing it. That's the right thing to do, right? That's why we don't hear anything out of the Braves front office. They don't want us to know because they're trying to keep their weaknesses not publicly known. Right? Well, right now our weakness is pretty publicly known. Everybody knows we need a starting pitcher, maybe 2. And I think that Tyler Mahle deal was, yes, in part to get a guy who can cover some innings and get you to the postseason. But I think more than that, it was a move that took the pressure off of the Braves a little in the eyes of the other teams, right? So you sign Tyler Mahle. Other teams look at that and go, well, okay, they don't necessarily have to have Casey Mize. They don't have to have my best starting pitcher I have available. So that kind of changes the dynamic of the negotiation in the trade talks, right? As opposed to, well, we all know that you need this starting pitcher, so I want Cam Caminiti, John Hill, and Eric Hartman all in one trade package. You might only have to get rid of one of them, right? So we'll see. Bobby Walker wants to know Casey Mize or bust. Well, not necessarily. I would definitely say postseason starter or bust for sure. I think when you look at it, Reed Detmers would be solid. Clay Holmes would be decent. Foster Griffin, Trevor Rogers, and the Orioles are trading away. I mean, Adley Rutschman got traded earlier, which I didn't see coming. Brady Singer, Nick Lodolo, Hunter Green. I mean, there's guys. That's what's so interesting here is that there are guys, and I think that's the interesting part, right? It's like, okay, we know. I got a list of names on here. We know that there's guys available, and it's kind of like, man, why has it taken so long to happen? A lot of comments coming in. Remember, Super Chats kind of take priority, so if you want to get a comment read, I can't read them all tonight. I highly doubt I can. So if you want it read, Super Chat, even if it's $1, Super Chat, and I'll read it. That's the best way I can kind of narrow it down. I saw a second ago one question that did kind of interest me. Let Eric Hartman play now. John Fishmakin said that. Look, I like the idea of Eric Hartman, but let's just keep in mind he just got called up to Double-A. He's only ever had experience at the professional level as high as Single-A, and that Single-A to Double-A jump is a big one. If you can play well in Double-A, you can just about play well in the big leagues, right? Michael Harris went straight from Double-A to the major leagues. So did Vaughn Grissom, right? You can play, you can hit, I would say, in the major leagues if you can play in Double-A. And I say all that to say, if you pull up Hartman now, which I don't think they'll do for a lot of reasons, but if you pull up Hartman now, you kind of expose him to other teams. Let's say the Braves wanted to trade Hartman for a starting pitcher today, but you had just pulled him up to AAA and he just did not have it, right? I believe Hartman and John Hill and Caminiti all have their first game in Double-A today. I don't think Caminiti will pitch, but they all will be around Double-A today. So we shall see. Or tomorrow, rather. My bad, tomorrow. Let's see. Do I think Mason Miller will get traded? I doubt it. I mean, if you're the Padres, there's two ways to look at that. You can either look at it with, when is his value going to be any higher than this? Because, what if Mason Miller got hurt tomorrow, and you're the Padres? Like, man, we could have got a few prospects for him, right? The other caveat to that is he's still arbitration eligible, which means he's still under team control until 29. So he's still got a couple of years of team control. So we'll see. Chris Collins says, I'm done with the Braves. Third year in a row, Double-A does nothing. I can't get home quick enough to cancel Braves Vision. Double-A is the worst GM in history. I don't know about all that. Double-A, number one, has been an executive of the year. He knows what he's doing. If the deal isn't there, they have far more resources than my little list over here, right? They know who's who. We'll see. But I would say that if you're done with the Braves, you're going to miss out on some good stuff. That's what I would say. When is A.J. Smith-Shawver pitching again? He pitched. He's in Double-A right now, actually. Nobody really talks about that. But he got transferred to Double-A. I imagine, I don't know Gwinnett's schedule as well, but I imagine it's because Gwinnett's traveling. He could very well pitch in Double-A tomorrow, would be 5 days rest. So we'll see. I might take a trip down to the ballpark tomorrow night. Randy Brown says, get Schwellenbach back. Well, if we can only heal him up, and work a miracle, I think they would do that. Let's see. Jackson Freeman says, what do you think about Eovaldi with DeGrom off the board of options? Yeah, I don't mind Eovaldi. A lot of people don't like the idea of Eovaldi. I don't really understand why. It's a veteran guy with postseason experience. And I would say the same about Michael Wacha. I get they're not who they used to be, but, they can still contribute. I don't see a problem with either one of those guys, in my opinion. Let's see. If Double-A was NHL GM, he's probably not signing any defensemen. Look, guys, I understand the frustration. I'm not one to really go after Alex Anthopoulos. I never have. I don't think I ever will. Now, I will say this. It is a failure on his part if we get to 6:30 tonight and we haven't heard that the Braves sign a starting pitcher. And I say 6:30 because, it doesn't always get announced at 6 o'clock. If we get to 6:30, 7 o'clock, and he hadn't done anything, at that point, I think it's a failure. But again, we aren't privy to all the information either. If they're asking for all three of the guys I just mentioned plus Ozzy Albies, you just never really know. What is Penny says, what is A.J. Smith-Shawver doing in Double-A? Tired of Double-A's mysterious manipulations. He's in Double-A with a rehab start. He had his first MLB start the other day, pitched well, but I think they just wanted to give him one or two more, minor league appearances. He may be throwing a bullpen session while, Gwinnett's traveling. I don't really know, but I don't think it's a long-term deal, which is part of the reason I'm going down to the ballpark tomorrow, really to just get eyes on him in Double-A and see kind of what he's working with. And really the problem he had the other day wasn't his stuff. He pitched well. It was the fact that he only made it through 4.5 innings or whatever he threw. It wasn't lasting long, but then again, you could say the same about Grant Holmes on quite a few outings. So we'll see. I still believe that the top suitor, I tweeted this yesterday, I still believe that the top suitor in this trade deadline for the Braves is Casey Mize. And there's a lot of reasons for that. Number one being that he's from here. He's from Alabama. He went to Auburn. It would be a homecoming to a point for Casey Mize. He's also had a really solid year. If you can't get Scooble, the natural move would be to his teammate. And the Tigers are trying to, it's interesting, they're trying to play as if they don't want to just sell everybody. They do. They'd be dumb if they didn't, because Casey Mize is an impending free agent. He's going to get moved. He's a great trade asset to have if you're the Tigers. If you're the Tigers and you don't trade him and then you don't lock him up, you're out. You're out. You don't get anything back. So that would be dumb to me. I would take Casey Mize right now in a heartbeat. I've said it now for 2 or 3 days that I thought that would be the move, and I still think it needs to be the move. Joe Ryan, the Twins are buying. I forgot about that. Yeah, that's right. They got a couple guys yesterday. Yeah, I don't understand that either, to be quite honest with you. Tim Short has a funny one. As fans, we should be super pumped. Yeah, Scooble's good, but he's no suitor. That's pretty good. I'm not going to lie to you. Harold says, Double-A is the worst general manager in the world. He is the reason why Freeman, Swanson, Jock Peterson, and all the rest of the players broke the team up. It's all his fault. Well, Swanson was gone no matter what. He went to Chicago to be in the same town that his wife plays in. I think we all kind of expected that, to at least to some degree. Freeman hurt. That was one that hurt. But in defense of Double-A, if you can't have Freddie and you got Matt Olson, who's on pace for potentially reaching 50 home runs this year, I don't think you can be too mad about that. Yes, he broke the team up, but that 2021 team, I don't think would have been successful after 21. It was this perfect little storm for these few months where everything came together, right? Think about what happened after 21. We re-signed Eddie Rosario. Eddie Rosario was not near the player he was in the fall of 21. Tyler Matzik gets an injury. He's never the same. Jorge Soler, not the same. It was this perfect storm. Luke Jackson, not the same. Will Smith, not the same. So as much as people talk about, hey, the team broke up after 21, it's not really a bad thing that the team broke up, right? It would have been nice to keep Freddie. It would have been nice to maybe keep Swanson, especially with the ups and the downs at the shortstop position we've had. But all in all, I don't really mind it, Jackson Freeman, thank goodness, a positive Double-A comment. Why are people so adamant on hating Double-A? He's been a good GM and hasn't made many mistakes. I'd like to see some of these people in Alex's office doing his job. Well, that's really the thing. We don't know what goes into being a general. I don't know what goes into it. I know from the outsider point of view of, hey, man, why aren't we getting a starting pitcher? And all you can do is ask him, and he's not really going to tell you the answer. It's very private, very, very little information ever gets to us until a deal is done. And even then, I don't think we know it all. Dalton Varsho is close to agreeing to the Astros, or close to going to the Astros, so that's good to know. The Astros are continuing to add. Interesting. Fried should have gotten paid. That's one that I'll give you that I felt like we could have kept. But we were never going to do Yankee money, and Fried wanted to hit free agency and get paid. So, let's see. Red Riot says, if normal fans did Double-A's job, we wouldn't have a farm system. Yeah, because it's very easy for us as outsider to the organization, it's easy for us to go, oh yeah, trade Hartman, trade Caminiti, trade, whoever you got to. I want Tarek Skubal now, right? Well, then 2 months pass, you don't win the World Series. Let's say you go to the World Series and you don't end up winning it. You got nothing to show for it, and Skubal signs to the Dodgers anyway. So pretty interesting. Let's see. Mentor is in T. Interesting. A lot of folks in the comments. Clay Holmes, I like the idea. Thank you. 33 pay. Hopefully they'll pay Clay Holmes and get him into Atlanta. Clay Holmes, he's making $13 million. Braves be responsible for a portion of that. He's got a player option for next year, which is up the Braves' alley. That is not necessarily a negative. It may make it harder to get him out of the clutches of the Mets, but it is interesting for sure. Clay Holmes, he's got a 2.39 ERA this year through 9 games. 9 starts, 52 innings pitched. He seems to be kind of well rested. He must have been coming off of an injury of some kind that I'm unfamiliar with. Haven't really kept up with the Mets. He's a 2-time All-Star, though. His best seasons were, in 2021, he had a 1.61 ERA. I'm just kind of quickly going over his baseball reference. I like the idea of Clay Holmes. It's the only challenge I think really is going to be, number one, can you get him from the Mets, which is always a challenge. A lot of people bummed that they didn't get Soriano. Yeah, I kind of like the idea of Soriano too. Before he got moved, I did kind of like that. Let's see. Yeah, Yasuki Knight says, truth be told, the Braves got lucky and hot in the same time in 2021. It's a little luck, but it's getting hot at the right time. That does matter. We've gone cold at the wrong time too before, so we'll see. We are, keep in mind, guys, we are kind of monitoring live trades as they happen. So we just heard Dalton Varsho finalizing a deal to go to the Astros from the Blue Jays. So we're keeping a check on everything going on. I got all the big guys, notifications set for everything going on, but we'll see. Jackson Freeman, if that's true, I want you to DM me that video on Twitter. I want to see it. Lee Thomaston says the starting rotation has been a mess this whole season, and he put it himself in this position, signing Kim Profar dead money. Well, that's not really fair. Nobody knew Profar was going to do what Profar did. That's not on Alex Anthopoulos. That's on Jurickson Profar. And the reason that the Braves don't have a solidified left fielder is because of Jurickson Profar. So I don't really buy into that at all. In terms of Kim, I didn't love the move. I didn't think the Braves needed it because I really liked Mauricio. But after Mauricio got signed, I think Kim looked at it and said, okay, you know what? Let's make this happen before I don't have a job. Whether that's on AA or not is up to you, but I don't view it that way. All AA can do is look at what those guys are projected to do and educate and have an educated guess as to if it'll work out or not. He's not a fortune teller. He's planting the seeds, and they have to grow, right? That's how I see that. Jurickson Profar, I will never hold that over AA at all. That is purely on the player. It'd be like if one of them got caught, doing drugs. Same thing, right? And technically that's what happened, I guess. But it's on them, right? If a player gets, in trouble with the law of any kind, that's not on the GM. The GM can't predict that. That's outside of baseball. That's off the field issues. And that's not on the GM. That's the way I see it. Kelnick was supposed to be left fielder. A lot of people get on AA about Kelnick. Kelnick, number one, we didn't give up much for Kelnick. I don't think we paid him much either. It was kind of a let's see what he does and see if he can pop off and be what he was supposed to be, which was a first-round draft pick. It just didn't work out. Let's see. Kyra says, sort of, you could do character and personality interviews. But even then, I'll tell you, I've met Jurickson Profar. I met him in spring training of his first season with the Braves, which happens to be only a couple of months before he was busted. And I'll tell you, came off like a very nice young man. He's my age, but he came off very nice. He was very friendly. There was no reason to think anything, and I don't buy into that. But we'll see. Mass Boost, yeah, we saw that earlier. To be honest with you, I'm kind of happy about it. I don't really want DeGrom, but I guess I would have taken him over not getting anything, but I don't know that I really wanted him. Let's see. National Ref Ball League says, prospect schmoshpect. We could have got Soriano, and mark my words, he'll be a problem in the MLB. He already is. I'd trade basically any prospect for a proven guy like that, same as Skubal. Again, the issue with Skubal that I think that the Braves were probably hesitant to trade the farm over, number one, the Tigers could have gotten a better package, I think, from the Rays or the Phillies, somebody like that. I can't remember who it was. And they still elected to go with the Dodgers, which I don't understand that. That's odd. Also, I would say that the other thing is with Skubal, you're not going to re-sign him. The Braves are never going to pay him the money he wants. And I don't think he wanted to be traded, but, is what it is. The Battery with a terrific comment here. I don't think that Phil Niekro bobblehead has enough gray hair. Hang on just a second. Let's look at it. It's there. It's there. Trust me. That is accurate, I would say. Appreciate that. Very few people ever mention the stuff behind me anymore. Let's see. Love Phil Niekro, by the way. And Profar's numbers did seem to inflate in San Diego quickly, so there were red flags. Yeah, but did you know that when we signed him? No. I mean, there's no way to know it. And plus, it's not on Double-A to be... It should not be on any general manager to monitor, hey, does this guy have any steroid problems? I'm sure they're doing it now, but that's such a foregone problem now. It's a foregone conclusion that everybody's so tested and everybody's so, overanalyzed that you're going to get caught. Why would a player do it? That's the stupid part here. It's not on Double-A. It's on Jurickson Profar. At the end of the day, it's on Jurickson Profar. Let's see. Why are the Braves never the team that will pay the money? Okay. Who's the highest paid position player on the Braves right now? It's between Matt Olson and Austin Riley. I'm pretty sure it's Austin Riley. And Austin Riley's having a heck of a down year. The Braves don't like to pay for pitchers, and that, frankly, is one thing I agree with. Pitchers are very volatile. Look at Spencer Strider, one of the biggest contracts on the team, especially when it comes to pitchers. And he's possibly done, so we'll see. Let's see. Braves fans will blame Double-A for everything. Double-A has now inherited all of the hate that Snitker used to get. Snitker used to get just, completely demolished. So we'll see. Tim Short, Dodgers offered Tigers owner. No. I think ultimately, it's... They must have liked whatever prospects the Dodgers had, and I don't really want to get into the Dodgers again tonight because I've done it the past two nights, and I just don't care to do it. I think when you look at it, it's more, and this is the only thing I'm going to say, when you're able to spend money the way the Dodgers have, and frankly, when you're able to get players without spending money like the Dodgers have, it is a lot easier to not have to trade prospects away like many teams are having to do to get players. You just buy them in free agency, sign them to big deals, and then defer all the money over 20 years. They have the best player in the game in Shohei Ohtani, and I think everybody says that. And they don't even have to pay him hardly anything. It's insane. So, is what it is. Appreciate the love for the Phil Niekro bobblehead. Yeah, I have another cool little thing here. I guess I'll show you since it's come up. I got a few good bobbleheads back there, but this right here, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. I highly doubt you're going to be able to see it. I work for a television station. I've worked for a few. Found this old box of the projector slides. Basically, the way it used to work is they would put this in, and this picture would pop up. It's a little picture of Phil Niekro. You can probably just barely, I'm going to put it over here where you can maybe see it in the light. You can kind of see it. A little picture of Phil Niekro. Kind of cool. Niekro is a good friend of mine. I miss him. He did a few interviews with us, and he didn't have to. But appreciate the love for the bobbleheads. Love for the set in general. I mean, I put a lot of work into this set, so I really do appreciate that. Strider might as well learn how to throw a knuckleball. We'll see. Big C's, due to Hartman coming up quickly through the system, do you see him maybe potentially taking Acuna's spot if he doesn't re-sign with Atlanta? Could be why AA doesn't want to trade him. Potentially, I'm not really worried about Acuna wanting to sign in Atlanta. I'm more worried about Acuna playing the field here in a few years than I am anything. I think Acuna, if he does stay with Atlanta, the concern is going to be, can he play the field or is he a DH, which changes his value, and it also may change the interest level that the Braves have. That's what I would say. Owens, I think the best option is Logan Webb. He could be a starting pitcher number 2 and have multiple years left on his contract, which AA loves. Multiple years of control. The only reason Casey Mize is above Logan Webb for me right now is because the Giants have said that they have no interest in trading him. That said, that doesn't mean that they won't get interest in the next hour and 40 minutes. We'll have to see. But I'm sure that AA is, running all over trying to make anything happen he can. Ian, White, Strider, and Owen Murphy for Mize. I think it's going to take more than that, unfortunately. I think it's going to take some big name prospects to get a starting pitcher, especially one that you're comfortable with throwing in the postseason. So, again, we have an hour 40 left ahead of the deadline. Muffin would love us to go out and get Paul Skeens. You know what? Let's just go get Cy Young while we're at it. You know what I mean? I would love to get Skeens too. Bobby Sparks says, if they do not make another move, I will stop watching. They do not care. I do not care. I'm all for, this is Joe Reese talking about, I am all for trading for Soroka, but Anthopoulos is too dumb to do that. He'd rather trade for these washed-up players. Well, you can make an argument that Soroka's, been washed up. The Braves gave Soroka every chance to recover and come back, and it took a long time for that to happen. I'd love for Soroka to come back. I don't know that Soroka wants to come back, but, we'll have to see. Let's see. Jay Cutt says, I don't see us getting a number 2 starter at this point. Well, there's still plenty of time, and again, there's still so many on the board. You have Reed Detmers, Clay Holmes, Foster Griffin, Casey Mize, Emerson Hancock, Trevor Rogers, George Kirby, Brady Singer, Nick Lodolo, Shane Bieber, Max Scherzer, Hunter Green. I mean, that's just to name a few. These are just the ones that, we're thinking of. Maybe Logan Webb. So there's still a lot to happen, and I think at this point we're going to see another domino fall here shortly for one of these guys, and when that happens, I think you're going to see they're going to start rolling out. That's kind of what I think, and I think the Braves are going to have to be on top of their game here. But it's interesting for sure. By the way, appreciate all you guys tuning in tonight. There's been a lot of chatter in the chat, a lot of activity in the chat, so really appreciate you guys being in and participating, and it makes the stream so much better. I don't have to just talk my own ideas for 3 hours. I really appreciate that. And we're going to be on, again, until this deadline goes. So stay with us, and, we'll see. Joe Ryan being asked about once again. Well, if I'm not mistaken, we kind of went through it a minute ago. I would love to get Joe Ryan. Right now, I would love to get any competent starting pitcher I can, but he's on the Twins, and the Twins are actually buying. So it's kind of hard to know, but they're actually buying, which, we'll see what they do. I don't really understand that, but will they make another move at the deadline? We'll see. I can't. The Twins have already added A.J. Minter and Dean Kramer to their pitching staff, and they're still in talks with a lot of others. So they're not looking to get rid of Joe Ryan. That's my answer to you. But we'll see. All right, that's the third comment I've seen about it. I try not to talk about this, but it's very unavoidable for some reason. A lot of folks are bringing up Trevor Bauer. Yeah, I said his name. Here's what I'd say. I think Trevor Bauer should be able to play in Major League Baseball. I do think that. I think enough proof is out there that what he was accused of was not true or was drastically overreacted to or overstated, or however you want to look at it. I think he was very unfairly treated. That said, I don't think he fits on the Braves. And it's not because we don't need a starting pitcher. The Braves have a they're very stout on we are character guys. It's why you rarely ever hear scandals with the Braves. For the majority of players like Matt Olson and Austin Riley, even Acuna, Ozzie Albies, you never hear stuff about him. Occasionally you will, Profar is an example, but it wasn't like he was a Braves guy, raised up in Braves culture. And I'm not saying it's impossible. I kind of doubt that the Braves would go for that. And look, time will tell. I think he's more likely to go to like a Cincinnati that knows him and is familiar with him. But it's also, if I'm not mistaken, he's had deals with teams pretty much laid out, and Major League Baseball shut it down. So I don't even think it's an option. But we'll see. Mass Boost. You're in a conversation with somebody else, okay. The battery says, I'm getting bombarded with commercial interruptions. I looked in the settings. I tried to control it. I apologize. I got a lot of complaints about it last night. I hear you, but I can't do anything about it. I appreciate the comment. He says, obviously this has YouTube's attention. Yeah, appreciate that. Dustin's talking about, Ozuna scandals a few years ago. For sure. Ozuna, I will say this about Ozuna. He grew up. He changed his life. He made it better, and he's really turned himself into a leader. And he became beloved in Braves country, for sure. John Rocker, we can go through them. There's been those unique type of players over the years that are outspoken or have problems or whatever, but I don't think the Braves are going to go jumping into a Trevor Bauer situation. They're just not the team to do it. John Fish Macon says, no good new pitcher for Braves are done until 2028, since 27 might be a no-show, and if no 27, it will crash the card market. It will definitely crash the card market. It'll crash the baseball market. I am rooting for no lockout. That would be terrible for me personally and doing this channel. If I don't have baseball to talk about, I obviously don't have much to talk about. So I hope that is not the case. I really hope that we get this figured out, but I have very little faith that that's going to happen. And it's because of teams, teams don't like what the Dodgers are doing. That's a very real thing. And there will be a salary cap discussed. I'm not saying it'll happen, but it will be discussed. Let's see. Gamer Boy says, I remember Malley from the Reds and the Giants. I think that was a good deal by Anthopoulos. He's a veteran presence. I agree. And I think ultimately it's a situation where you're going to save your arms. And a lot of people overlook that. But that is so important at this time of year to rest your guys. That's why the night shift became the night shift, because they were well rested, right? Richard Rodriguez comes in and covers innings for Matzik and for Will Smith and for, whatever may happen. But, they covered it, or he covered it rather, and those guys profited because of it in a lot of ways. And the team did too. That's why he got his World Series ring. Get a freaking starter. I think Skubal was a steal. I do too. I'm surprised that they got him for just that. And since we just really need a starting pitcher number 2, because right now we have nothing to compete with the 1-2 punch of the Phillies. Sanchez and Wheeler, the Dodgers, 3 of Skubal, Ohtani, and Yamamoto. I don't disagree. And that's why I'm not looking at regular season. I know the Braves are going to be in the postseason at this point. And I think that it's not just that. It's when you get to the playoffs, you have to compete with the Dodgers. Well, the Dodgers are beatable. They're beatable. If you get them in the NLDS, it's a 5-game series. They're beatable. You get them in a 7-game series. They're beatable. It's not guaranteed that they're going to win at all, but they do have quite a bit to offer for sure. Do I think AA will get a starter? He better. He better. As a good friend of mine said yesterday, if he doesn't get one, I would hate to be Alex Anthopoulos come Tuesday or come Monday night. He's going to have to face the public and answer questions as to why we didn't get one. The battery, this is a joke, obviously, but the battery says Jeff Passan just confirmed the Braves have acquired Jesse Chavez. You know what? He can cover innings. I'll give him that. He can cover innings. Yeah, man, there's a lot to still go down. We have an hour and a half before anything, before we really get to what this is going to be and how this is going to go. And I'm excited. It's the final hour and a half, and we're going to see what happens. Really quickly, I'm going to take a break. I need to go get a drink. I've been talking for, I think, like an hour straight, an hour straight. So I'm going to run and go grab a drink. We'll be gone for 30 seconds. Till then, check out these commercials from our sponsor, Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC. We'll be right back.
Going on right now at Glenn Smith and Opelika.
Enjoy huge savings on our complete lineup of GMC Sierras and GMC Terrains. Full-size and powerful GMC Sierra at $13,500 off.
Buy today and make no payments for 120 days.
Drive away in the stylish GMC Terrain as low as $395 a month. People from all over the USA buy from Glenn Smith Chevrolet.
Check us out 24/7 at glennsmith.com.
Get ready to smile. Going on right now at Glenn Smith and Opelika.
Both Chevy Silverado and Traverse are ready for you. Get supplier pricing today on all new Chevy Silverado 1500s with up to $13,500 off. Or get a loaded Traverse, the roomy Chevy SUV with third row seating, and enjoy up to $6,000 off.
Buy today and make no payments for 120 days.
Smart people from all over the USA buy from Glenn Smith Chevrolet.
Get ready to smile.
Welcome back, everybody. Sorry about that. Just had to take a quick break. We are back, though, and we will be here, I promise, for an hour and a half straight. We're going to be good. Lot still to go on, and, I am struggling to believe that nothing is going to happen over the next few hours, couple hours, hour and a half, whatever it is. But, get your questions in. Obviously, we'd love to hear from you. But, there's too many guys available. Reed Detmers, Clay Holmes, Foster Griffin, Casey Mize, Trevor Rogers, George Kirby, Brady Singer, Nick Lodolo, Shane Bieber, Max Scherzer, Hunter Green, whoever you want. There's a lot of guys available. AA's got to be working the phones, but we'll see. One Ron, Tyler, why is it that nobody beat the Skubal package even though almost every team could? Thoughts? I think that no matter what, the Dodgers could have beat it. They could have won that. There were more prospects to be offered, and that's on the Tigers. The Tigers could have held out, and really, the Tigers shouldn't have traded Skubal till today. Today would have been the day to trade Skubal, because then you get everybody's best offer. Most teams were probably just saying, hey, look, we'll give you this, we'll give you this. But we're not going to go beyond that. The Dodgers, on the other hand, could say, we're going to give you 3 really solid prospects, and that was their first offer was probably better than a lot of other teams' first offer. So if you ask me, that's a failure on the Tigers, not the Dodgers. But that's just my opinion. Ben Miller would rather complete every year than shoot for the moon one time. Remember the Blue Jays playoffs a lot of times. Who's hot? Completely agree. The 14 straight division titles, that means a lot, back in the day. And the Braves have been pretty consistently competing over the last decade or so, they're going to be in it. They're going to be in the mix. The Dodgers, can pay their way. And I really feel like at some point this is going to bite the Dodgers in the butt. If there's a salary cap issued, then, obviously they would be grandfathered in. But at some point, they're going to have to pay these contracts. And in 20 years, when they're still paying them and they're not competitive and they're paying Ohtani all this money, I don't know. That's just me. National Ref Ball League. Why is everyone assuming that's a first offer? It could have been in the works and Scuba wanted to go to the Dodgers. Remember when Freddie pretended it was his agent's fault? I believe it was his agent's fault, for one. But, we'll see. What did Bowman do? John Edward Kruger, what did he do? I guess I should turn on notifications for Bowman. I don't know how I haven't already done that. All right, Bowman's latest tweet is the acquisition of another position player could change things, but if the Braves truly are going to put Kim on the roster tomorrow, it's hard to see Jarvis staying in the majors. Yeah, I agree. If Yaz Thomas are the primary left fields, Dubon will be the primary shortstop. No reason to carry Jarvis as a backup. I agree. I've been saying it for a week, so not really surprised in that regard. If that's the tweet you're referring to, I assume it is, but we'll see. LA Dodgers will move back to Brooklyn in 20 years. That'd be something. His latest tweet is kind of out of nowhere. I assume you're talking about the Jim Jarvis is what I assume you're talking about. Let's talk about it then. I agree with this because when you look at the lineup as it's constructed right now, if you're platooning Yastrzemski and you're platooning Lane Thomas, which is, if you're going to get Lane Thomas, the only reason you're getting him is to platoon with Yastrzemski. He's right. There's no reason where are you going to put Mauricio? He's not going to play the outfield. You got Harris in center, Acuna in right. If Acuna's not in right, you have Eli White out there in theory. Why do you need Jim Jarvis? I mean, look, I like Jim Jarvis. It's no knock. Very nice guy. Like the flow. And beyond that, it's, he's been solid for us. So, I mean, it's not that. It's purely a numbers thing. In September call-ups are a big deal for a reason. I think Jim Jarvis could very well be one of them. Jeffrey Humphreys says, good afternoon, Tyler. Get us a good pitcher. I'm fighting for you, man. I am fighting as hard as I can. I've been on here for an hour. And we're not going anywhere until we get a starting pitcher. That's kind of where I'm at. I am protesting at this point. We need one, no doubt about it. Braves should get Mize and Scherzer. That would be interesting. That would be quite a face turn for Scherzer, for sure. I haven't looked at his stats, so you know what? We got time. Let's look at it. Scherzer. If only it was 5 years ago, Scherzer, that would be something. Me and Scherzer have the same birthday, just found out just now. He's on a 1-year, $3 million deal, free agent at the end of the year. His ERA is 7.92 through 8 starts. Yeah, I don't know about that one. I'd have to really look at some advanced metrics to buy into that. 6.98 FIP too. So I mean yeah. I don't know. I don't think so. You'd have to combine it with a Casey Mize or something. Bring Freeman back home for third base? No. He's a Dodger. He's probably going to retire a Dodger at this point. Hunter Green has the stuff to be a number 2. That's the gamble. That's exactly. The other day he had an ERA north of 7. Now it's a 6 ERA. We'll see. All right, so I keep hearing about this AA balcony video because I need to see it. Somebody send it to me on Twitter. Hang on a second. I will live react to this right now. Oh, Lord. He's on the phone. He doesn't look stressed. People are overreacting. He's just on the phone. It's nothing. It could be. It's going to go wild on Braves Twitter, but it's just a video of him. Green is not available, I don't think. I like Mackenzie Gore. Yeah, I mean, that's one I don't think we mentioned. I like Emerson Hancock. I like that idea. And he's controllable for multiple years. But that's what makes those guys hard to get, is if they're controllable beyond this year. That's why I really think it's going to be Casey Mize. Let's see. Francisco Javier, Carlos Baerga just mentions that the Braves are trying to get Skeens. I saw that earlier. If that happens, we might go on a lockout tomorrow. Why not at this point? Why not? Oh, man. Let's see. He better be getting a starter. Is my gut feeling that it's going to be Mize? Yeah, if you'd asked me yesterday, I would be like, oh, yeah, for sure. Now it's kind of like, the Tigers are playing a little hard to get, and, is what it is. But, we'll see. My gut feeling is that it will be Mize. Did Reed Detmers get moved? As far as I know, no, but I'll give it a double check just to be sure. I don't believe so. Reed Detmers, Bleacher Nation says the Cubs are getting him. I might have missed that. He's not coming. They had to I didn't think that was true. So no, he is still with the Angels. So that's the thing, you don't always want to report something first. You want to report it correctly. Rangers pitcher Jacob deGrom was quoted today on declining to waive his no trade. Quote, "I want to be here. I believe in this group. Obviously, the last road trip didn't go well, but I believe we can win. I signed here to help this team win a World Series." Yikes. All right. Moving on from that. We're going to have to see what happens next, but we're far from done, everybody. So buckle up. This next hour 15 is going to be a lot of fun. He did not get traded to the Cubs. William Copper, what are we doing not getting an elite starter to pay with sell? Literally the one must this trade season. I definitely think we're in on it. If we're not in on it, I'm going to eat a lot of crow, but I can't imagine AA is not working on a number 2 starter, maybe even a number 1. I can't imagine. In terms of Paul Skeens, I don't know that I would want Paul Skeens. That is a big gamble. And I don't even know how long he's controllable or anything. But I think the simple answer is to just go get Casey Mize. The rumor yesterday, which you can't believe rumors at this time of year especially, but you can't really believe rumors. But the rumor was that the Braves are prioritizing Casey Mize. And I don't know if that's true or not, but I feel like they ought to just do it. I'm a Casey Mize guy. Jamiz Neutron says, give me a healthy A.J. Smith-Shawver and Spencer Schwellenbach. Yeah, I don't think we're having this conversation if you have Schwellenbach, to be honest with you. I think we might have entertained getting a pitcher, but I don't know if it would have been this, like, we need one. Braves Ryan says Double A has been dangling a quote-unquote playoff starter in front of us for 2 years now and came up empty every single time. Whew, Lord. There's a lot going on today. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? I'm seeing a lot of people talk about the injuries that the Braves have had over the past couple of years. It's unfortunate. I've even suggested, which isn't really fair to the staff, but I've kind of suggested, like, maybe our strategy for health and fitness is off the mark. You know, maybe what we're doing to train is not quite right, purely because it's like, I don't know what other answer there is, why we're having so many injuries. Well, I do know. Everybody's trying to throw 102, but that's neither here nor there. Real quick, guys, if you've been watching this long and you haven't liked this stream, please do that. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you have not already. We're going to be following this to the end, and we're going to be following the Braves to the end. So make sure you're subscribed if you're not already. Hit the bell for notifications so that you know when we're on. But, you know, we'll see. But again, yeah, thanks to the ones that already have, but please do like the stream. It helps kind of broaden the audience. And we have a great audience tonight. Did last night as well. So Mark Bobin's tweet, if Kim joins the roster, Jarvis is out. With Yaz and Thomas in left field and Dubon at short, there's no need to keep Jarvis as a backup. I agree. And the real truth is, I know everybody likes Jarvis right now, especially over Ha-Seong Kim. That's the mindset that we're going in with. And I don't necessarily disagree. I don't disagree with that at all, actually. I do too. But one of those guys has the ability to go down to the minors, and the other one doesn't. He has options, and that's Jim Jarvis. So I wouldn't be surprised at all to see that happen, to be honest. Bobby Sparks says, stop thinking a salary cap is going to solve baseball problems. No person is going to agree to cap the money they can make. Think about it, would you? Already know that's why we're going to a lockout, because owners want it and the players don't. And anytime that happens, it's destined for a lockout. We got to move, guys. The Phillies have acquired minor league right-handed pitcher Manuel Colon and cash considerations from the Royals in exchange for Nolan Hoffman, who was DFA back on August 3rd, so today. So they got him for Nolan Hoffman. Okay, minor deal there. Bobby Sparks says, what needs to happen is a salary floor to make every team spend and try to win. Yeah, but, you know, when you raise the salary floor, which I agree with you, whatever you want to make it, I'll agree with that. If you do that, then all these teams that aren't spending money are going to spend just enough to be on the salary floor. They're not going to try to compete with where the Dodgers are. There's such a disparity between where the Dodgers are and really where everybody else is. If you don't include it, if you include all the deferred money, the $1.1 billion of deferred money that the Dodgers have, no one's close to that. Not even the Yankees are close to that. The Braves, I think, are fourth, and we're not close to it. And so if you think that you're going to get anywhere close, like to Colorado or Cincinnati or any of these lower market teams who frankly don't have the resources, they don't have the income, they don't have it, and maybe you make revenue sharing a little bigger, right? I don't know what the solution is. What I do think is the longer the Dodgers are able to do this, the worse for the game that it is. All right, we got one off the board. The Cubs are acquiring Clay Holmes and Tyrone Taylor from the Mets. Clay Holmes off the board. He's going to the Cubs. It's just one more starting pitcher off the board, guys. Let's see. I'm going to read this tweet. This is according to Mark Feinsand. John Heyman was on it first. The Cubs are acquiring Clay Holmes and Tyrone Taylor from the Mets for infielder Jefferson Rojas. That is the Cubs' number 2 overall, number 63. Or Cubs' number 2 overall, number 63 prospect. So, Clay Holmes off the board from the Mets to the Cubs. Of course, we're monitoring. That could be the domino right there. That could be the first domino to go where we're about to see Detmer's gone and Casey Mize gone and Foster Griffin. A lot can happen. A lot can happen fast. John Fish-Macon says players pay too high, raise the pay of the team workers, not players. Unions are bad once a group has good pay. Well, I kind of agree with that. I'll tell you this while I got a microphone and people listening. There's a movement happening right now, and I've been asked not to keep it. I've been asked to keep it, not from being public just yet, but it's on NBC News now. I would suggest you go check out this article on NBC News. There is a union type of group being put together of former baseball players from pre-1980, and I maybe even pre-1990. I think it's pre-1980 though. It's led by Kurt Bavacqua. If you don't know who Kurt Bavacqua is, go look up Tommy Lasorda. Kurt Bavacqua, you'll know exactly who it is. I spoke to Bavacqua the other day. We're planning on doing something on the channel about this. If you don't already know, players pre-1980 and really the 60s, the 50s, the 40s, the 30s, all the way back, the pension for those players is not that great. Those players didn't make a ton of money like the players do today. They made pennies on the dollar compared to what these players are making today. And the pension is limited. And what I mean by that is once a player dies, their wife only gets half the pension. The reason I know about this is because a good friend of mine, Daryl Cheney, who's been on this channel multiple times, is the one that told me about it. He is involved as well. I would really encourage anyone out there to go check out NBC News' latest article. It's on their Instagram. Daryl's in it. He's in the story. It's a really well put together piece. And again, we're going to do something on it soon. But it frustrates me knowing some of the people that I know that used to play pre-1980 or whatever year you want to start it at, that don't get even their full pension. You've had players die and their wives are unsuspectedly, don't have the pension that they had before, and that's not good. Baseball's got the money, and we're talking $3,000 versus $6,000 a month. You're telling me Major League Baseball doesn't have that money? I don't want to hear it. I don't buy it. So far, Major League Baseball isn't budging. So if you want to tell me about unions being good till they're not, I'm with you. I wasn't expecting that. I'll read that in a second. We just got another trade in. Rays acquiring right-handed pitcher Tyler Wells from the Orioles. All right, here we go. I told you, dominoes fall fast. The comment that I was just laughing at, Dwayne Hester says, "Hi, Tyler. I see all that Bobby Cox memorabilia around you. You look like a young Bobby Cox." I don't know about that. I don't know about that, but thanks, I guess. Bobby Cox will always be... he will always be cherished here for sure. A central figure of my childhood. I think I learned all the cuss words I know from Bobby Cox. Make a rule that you can't defer money. Interesting. I think owners honestly wouldn't like that very much. I think players would hate it more because they won't be able to get as big of contracts. Here we go. The White Sox are acquiring Joey Bart from the Atlanta Braves. All right, something's coming. I don't know what the corresponding move will be. I don't know what the response will be. Joey Bart is officially traded from the Braves to the White Sox. I'm trying to make a note so I can keep track of everything. All right, I don't know what their corresponding move will be. Somebody find out if there's a reliever that we'd want from the White Sox. Let me know. Until we know, we're not going to know. Joey Bart, you know what? That probably means Sean Murphy's going to be back sooner than we think. That's interesting. Murphy's coming back tomorrow. I mean, he's been doing well in AAA. We'll see. We'll see. Joey Bart is gone to the White Sox. I'm going to look up the White Sox real quick and see who they got that we may want. Surely it's somebody that can help us now, right? We're gonna monitor that as best we can. I am pulling up the 2026 Chicago White Sox. See who they got that we could potentially want. I'm looking, guys. Bear with me. I don't really see anybody that jumps out on what I've already gotten. The only thing I can think there is maybe it may simply be we were trying to offload him because we know Sean Murphy's going to be back tomorrow, which that is a move in itself, right, as Chip Carey would say. That's almost like making a big trade without having to give up anybody, right? Luis Angel Acuna's over there. Okay, here we go. The White Sox get the catching help they need, acquiring Joey Bart for right-handed pitcher Duncan David. I'll have to look him up. Duncan David. There I was trying to piece together who it might be. Duncan David. All right, he's got 2 games pitched, a 4.50 ERA. He's a right-hander. He was drafted by the Tampa Bay Rays in the 18th round of the 22 MLB June amateur draft. He went to the University of Iowa. All right, basically a bag of peanuts. That's all. I don't really know. I don't really get that. That's all there is so far. So hopefully that is far from the final move that the Braves make. But we are going to keep watching. Don't really know what I think about that. 4.50 ERA. It could have been Eric Fetty. It could have been Eric Fetty. Gosh. All right, Duncan David. That's what we got. I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest with you. Clearly a reliever. He may get sent to AAA, but we'll see. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's a nothing burger. So, all right. We're 4 minutes away from being in the last hour of the MLB Trade Deadline. Oh, Lord. Yeah, he has 2 innings pitched in his career, 2 earned runs, 4.50 ERA. Yeah, I don't get it. All the big guys are still talking about the Rays acquiring Tyler Wells from the Orioles. Cubs got Gossman and Holmes. What do we get? All right, here you go. Despite the healthy returns for Adley Rutschman and Liam Hicks today, sources say the Twins have no plans to trade Ryan Jeffers by the deadline. I would imagine that same goes for Joe Ryan. All right, so if you're wondering who's still available, Reed Detmers, Foster Griffin, Casey Mize, Emerson Hancock, Trevor Rogers, George Kirby, Brady Singer, Nick Lodolo, Shane Bieber, Max Scherzer, Hunter Green, Jacob deGrom, which we all know is not available. So we'll see. We will see. But, guys, let me know. Make sure that I'm getting a text saying that they think we're having technical difficulties. I don't think we are, but please let me know if we are. I think everything's fine. I mean, when you go live for an hour and a half, 2 hours, 3 hours, there's always a chance that you're going to run into some technical difficulties. So please let me know that we're up. I believe we're good, considering the chat is still moving strong. I would imagine we're fine. I'm going to go as if we are. So, yeah, okay, stream looks fine. My dad's texted me saying I'm down. Dad, you're wrong. All right. Detmers went to Cubs. I believe that was a false report. I'm going to check, but there was a rumor that he was going there, and it never went official. Conflicting reports still is what I'm seeing. Yeah, all I got is conflicting reports. Jesse Rogers at 258 says the Cubs have not have acquired Reed Detmers in a trade. So every time we have a trade deadline, guys, there's always false reports. You're going to have to watch for that. That's why I only follow a certain list. I'm going to check Twitter, but Reed Detmers, as of right now, I am not. He ain't a Cub. That's all I can see. Yeah, Michael Cerami is who originally reported it, and he said that given what has transpired, he had to retract it. So no, the Cubs have not gotten Reed Detmers. So Reed Detmers is still on the board, and we are within a few seconds of being in the final hour. So let's see. Simplify, what you got against my shirt, man? I like this shirt. It's one of my golf shirts. All right, glad to know the stream's good. Yeah, Detmers was fake news. Don't really worried about it. Get Bieber. I'm a Bieber believer. I don't know that I would mind it. He is an impending free. At this point, I just want somebody. I just want somebody. I don't even care who it is. I just want a starting pitcher. Mize is still on the board. Reed Detmer's still on the board. Foster Griffin's still on the board. Trevor Rogers still on the board. George Kirby still on the board. Yeah, Matthew has a good memory of Aaron Judge going to the Giants a few seasons ago. And that was falsely reported too. Yeah, guys, obviously a lot can happen. So we're still waiting. And guys, like, I'm going on this list of like who's available. I'm just going to be completely honest with you. This is from MLB Trade Rumors, the article they dropped today of the top 50 trade candidates that were still available entering today, and a bunch of them have been marked off. So far, we've seen, I'll just go through it really quickly. We've seen Robbie Ray go to the Padres. We've seen Clay Holmes go to the Cubs. We've seen Luke Weaver go to the Pirates. We've seen Taylor Ward go to the Mariners. Dustin May to the Brewers. Joe Adele went to the Guardians. Adley Rutschman to the Red Sox. JoJo Romero to the Brewers. Liam Hicks to the Rays. We've seen Jacob deGrom say he's not going anywhere. Brent Suter, of course, to the Braves. Joey Bart to the White Sox. Braxton Garrett to the Cubs. The Cubs have been very, very active. Very active. So we will see what we got. But right now it is, right now it is very busy. Let's see what we got. A lot of folks coming in. People are getting really heated at AA. He better come in clutch today. This is looking rough if he doesn't. But remember, guys, the final hour in 21 was pretty darn good. So, I mean, there's still time, and there's still time. Even when 6 o'clock hits, you kind of have to wait 10 or 15 minutes to just know that nothing came through. Do you think AA's long-term affiliation with the Blue Jays at Soriano could still be in the mix for the Braves? No. Let me look, but I'm gonna look at one thing, but I don't think so. No. I mean, they traded. No, they just got him. That was who they wanted. The Blue Jays like AA, I'm sure, but they don't like him to give up their starting pitcher that they just got hands on, especially when starting pitching seems to be this hard to get. NMDPA 3 says, starting to feel like the same old, keep hoping one of our injured starters come back strong, and Schwellenbach. I don't have a lot of faith in that this year. Matthew, Tyler, do we have any clarity on whether the trade DeGrom used his no-trade clause was to block the Braves? I've heard AA was trying to acquire him. I don't even know if it got that far. I think the Rangers were kind of just generally asking Corey Seager, him, and I think there was one other guy they were asking. It's been a while since I've seen that tweet. They were asking those two guys at least if they would waive it. I don't even know if it got to the point of saying like, "Oh, this is going to be the team you're going to." That's all I've heard is that they said, "I don't want to do that. I want to be here." Let's see. Dwayne Hester, do you think? Oh, I already read that. I literally can't believe we traded Bart for nobody when we struggled all June because of catcher issues. Fair point. Remember when we had Jonah Heim and we got Murphy, got rid of Heim, and needed Jonah Heim back like 2 days later? But, I mean, we weren't going to send him to AAA tomorrow if Murphy's back. But I definitely think Murphy, that all but confirms Murphy's back, I mean, to me. But we'll see. Owen says, you know what? Forget it. Go get Aroldis Chapman, Paul Skeens, Emerson Hancock, and Yordan Alvarez. yeah, just go get them. Just make it happen. They need to go get Seager. That would be interesting. But then where do you put Mauricio at that point? That would be my question there. I think that's kind of, you don't really need a shortstop as much as you used to. And when I say as much as you used to, I mean as much as the Braves used to, because if you remember back before this year, before we knew what Mauricio was going to be, we desperately needed a shortstop. We'd been, using Orlando Arcia and moving him around and seeing what we could get for him and all that, and paying him as little as we could, but we didn't have a solidified starting shortstop. And now I feel like Mauricio has now grown into being a Brave. And I said this last night, and I do think that this is the case. With Mauricio, I feel like if you give Mauricio that starting shortstop job and really buy into that, I think it'll be easier to re-sign him after the conclusion of the season. He may want to go to free agency, but I think it would make it easier to re-sign him. Plus, you'd have all the Ha-Seong Kim money to throw at him if you wanted to. But that would be my take. Hey, don't be getting on 680. I like those guys. Bobby Spark says, because I do not want to hear about the future is not promised. Whatever that means. I don't know what the context there is at all. Matthew Jones says $17 million just sitting there and we don't have an established rotation. Agreed. But it's not like we're buying from the free agency market right now, right? Like we're getting it from the trade market, which is a little bit harder to manipulate, right? You can't just throw money at it and fix it. This is 4D chess. None of y'all realize we were sellers. The 4-game sweep convinced them. No, we're not sellers. Double A is going to pull something off here in the next 53 minutes. I fully believe it. Dwayne Hester says, we actually need a third baseman. Don't you think, Tyler? No. We got a pretty good third baseman. He's going to figure it out. He better figure it out. That's kind of where I'm at. Brent Suter doesn't know why we got him. Well, no, he's slotted into the rotation. He's already slotted into the rotation. Brent Suter, or I'm sorry, he'll be in the pen. I was thinking of Tyler Malley. That's on me. Look, I mean, there's still 50 minutes to go, and I'm holding out hope that they're going to do something. Fire at Double A, fire Double A. Guys, we still got 50 minutes. Let's wait it out. Also, before you go after Double A, let's just remember too that as much as it may be on Double A, it also really comes down to the ownership. If you have $17 million, that's great, but we didn't do anything in the offseason, and I think that was as bad as anything to me. It was not addressing your pitching in the offseason. You didn't know that some guys were going to be hurt and that kind of thing, but we knew that we needed pitching then, and it spiraled. Cade Griswold says, if Double A doesn't pull something off, fans are going to be calling for his head and on a stick, and rightfully so. John Kruger, are you messing with me or are you telling the truth? I haven't seen anything on that. Oh, here we go. Yes, I have. The Braves are trading Eli White to the Red Sox for right-handed pitcher Tyler Uberstein. Okay, let's look him up. Okay, In 2026, he's got a 3.38 ERA. He's pitched one game. Why are we doing this? To the Red Sox. Who is this kid? What do I know about him? Tyler Uberstein. He was drafted by the Red Sox in the 19th round of the 2021 MLB June Amateur Draft. He's a rookie. He's a young guy, 0-1 from Santa Monica, California. Let me look at his college and minor stats. Okay. In the minors, for 5 seasons, he's had a 3.52 ERA, 263 innings pitched. Something's going on. That's different. Passon is also tweeting the New York Yankees are finalizing a deal to acquire outfielder Heliot Ramos from the San Francisco Giants. Sources tell ESPN. Yankees have been seeking right-handed bats, and if the deal clears medicals, Ramos will provide it. All right, I need to figure out who this guy is and why we traded Eli White for him. I'm a little surprised by that. One of the top prospects. Let's see. That's what I wanted to see. He is the 14th ranked prospect in the Red Sox organization. He's pitched in one game this year, AAA primarily. Interesting. I don't know. That's odd. Lane Thomas taking Eli's spot. I mean, that makes sense. But, I mean, we got something for him, but I don't know what that was about. Wasn't expecting that one. It's odd for some reason. I'm not, I just don't know what to think of it, It may turn out that this guy's really solid. I don't know him. We'll try to find some more facts on him for you guys while we're waiting on something else to. The Yankees are close to acquiring Heliot Ramos. Henry Lalane would be believed to be the primary prospect in the trade. All right. Again, we are continuing to follow on Twitter, on other sites as well, trying to keep tabs on everything. All right. So he's 27 years old. He's my age. Trying to see. Future stars now, Tyler Uberstein. I mean, he's the 14th ranked prospect in their, he's not any Joe Schmo, but it seems odd. Yeah, interesting. All right, the Braves are getting more active. We've seen, a couple things happen. Obviously, Joey Bart and Eli White are gone, so that's something. But I don't know that that's what we were looking for, if that makes any sense. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. But that also removes – so, okay, all right, let's look at it just from a team-building perspective, not really what Tyler Uberstein may be. Obviously – I'm going to write it out for myself as well. Obviously, with Lane Thomas being here, you're platooning in left field. I think that's a given. Michael will be in center. Eli White is gone. Acuna is going to be your everyday right fielder. So I don't think you're going to have a backup unless you wanted to put Mauricio as a backup, but that doesn't make sense either. Murphy and Baldwin, obviously behind the play. Olsen, Ozzie, Mauricio, Riley. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So you have 11. 2 more spots would be Mateo. Yeah, I don't know. I guess they view it with basically. I guess they view it as if you have Jorge Mateo as a pinch runner, you don't have to have Eli White, especially if you have Lane and Yastrzemski in left field platooning. I guess that's the thought process, or something else is about to happen. New trade just came in. The Brewers are working to acquire reliever Antonio Senzatela from the Rockies. So he is off the board, and he is going to the Brewers. Yeah, Mass Boo says Eli and Mateo are tied for third fastest in baseball. Eli is also a heck of a defender. I really hate to lose him because I think he's a really solid ball player. He's, and there's been a few players like that over the recent years. Forrest Wall was like that. It's like, man, I hate to lose him. That speed is just, you can't coach that. Something's cooking up. I agree. Charlie's Adventures. Wonder if Zach Greinke would come to Braves. He was wanting to pitch in 2026. Bobby Sparks says they had to trade him because they can only have 26 players on the team. I guess that's the case, but still weird. Who do you think the Braves will get next? I'm hoping it's a starting pitcher. That's what I'm hoping. Because this is odd. Let's look at the roster. Let's look at the roster. Very, very odd. I highly doubt we're done. Dom Smith is still on the roster. Don't forget that. And he is included. I honestly did. I honestly thought we would get rid of Dominic Smith before we would get rid of Eli White, but I guess they view Dominic Smith's ability as a DH or pinch hitter over that. I don't think we're done. I think we're still going after some stuff here for sure. The bullpen, I feel like this is going to be your bullpen as I see it right now. Obviously, Rysel, obviously Dylan Lee, Dylan Dodd. I think that goes without saying. If we get a starting pitcher, I think Grant Holmes is going to be in your pen, but that's neither here nor there. As of right now, J.R. Ritchie is listed in the pen. I don't think that will stand. I mean, it could, but I don't think so. Didier Fuentes is in your pen for sure. I mean, I'm just kind of going through who's locked in. Giants close to acquiring Marcelo Meyer from the Red Sox for reliever Eric Miller, if anybody out there cares. James Karinchak, I think, is in your pen. He's been solid. I actually really like Karinchak. I'm glad we got him. I liked the move when it happened. I think, obviously, Brent Suter is going to be in your pen. And after that, I mean, it kind of goes however you want. You got two spots that you can play with. Out of Tyler Kinley, J.R. Ritchie, I think Danny Young is gone. Victor Medeiros, that would be it. So you'd have Victor Medeiros, J.R. Ritchie, Danny Young, we'll include him here. So, yeah, that would be it. So your bullpen would be Rysel, Dylan Lee, Dylan Dodd, Didier Fuentes, James Karinchak, Brent Suter. And as of right now, you would decide between Medeiros, Ritchie, and Danny Young, which I think the clear option would be to eliminate Danny Young in that. Just to give a little bit more context with this, Eli White, I think it kind of caught us all by surprise. But it does clear a roster spot. It does. Obviously, he wasn't going to play with both. He wasn't going to play the field very often, I should say, with both Lane Thomas and Yastrzemski in left field. Acuna is going to play right. It clears a roster spot, which makes me feel like something's coming. But we'll see. It's interesting. Yeah, Danny Young is definitely gone. I agree. So right now it's Medeiros and Ritchie finishing out your pen. That could change, if not today, tomorrow, whenever they decide what they're doing with Ha-Seong Kim. or whatever they get in this, next few minutes. We do have 41 minutes before the deadline, so more is coming. TLC Bean says, are there even any starting pitcher number 2s that are realistic for us? Yes, actually. Reed Detmers would be one of those. I still say my top suitor is Casey Mize. And I think that I really feel like that's going to happen. Foster Griffin is available. Emerson Hancock available. Trevor Rogers available. George Kirby, Brady Singer, Nick Lodolo. Suarez is off the board. Or Suarez, you're talking about Roberto Suarez. Or Robert Suarez. I said Roberto. Robert Suarez. He is injured. He is not close to returning. That is fake news. I heard it yesterday. He's only playing catch. He's not close to returning. Eventually, maybe you get him back. But he is hurt for sure. Mize went to the Phillies. I haven't seen that. Major Philadelphia Phillies trade rumor links them to massive deal with Detroit Tigers, but have not seen anything confirming it. It's funny that the perception is we're sellers now. That's hilarious to me. Yeah, he has not been moved. So we'll see. We will see. But your bullpen is what your bullpen's going to be, I think. You could maybe get one or more, but, we'll see. I think it's going to be Medeiros, J.R. Ritchie for the time being, and then you can maybe eventually pull up Suarez from the injured list. But we'll see. I mean, the real issue, the other thing is you can slot Grant Holmes in your bullpen, which is what they want to do, clearly. All right, Sale. I mean, clearly that's what they want to do, right? Right now, you kind of have to have Holmes in your rotation. They got to do something here. Yeah, I mean, right now you have Holmes in your rotation. I feel like it's gonna have to happen. Bobby Sparks brings up a good point. Also, remember the crazy rule that the Dodgers get over everyone else. They have 14 pitchers while everyone else can have 13. Make it make sense. Yep. Mr. Breck. Trading guys from Major League roster for prospects is the very definition of a seller. Hopefully it, I don't know what you're trying to say there, but it makes a move happen to add to the Major League roster. Still following along, guys. I still have to believe we're getting a starter. I can't believe that we wouldn't. We're going to have to wait and see. Garrett Clemens says, are you really surprised? We always get budget guys at the deadline. Yeah, that's not what's surprising me. It surprises me that we're not going after anybody as a starting. I mean, we're not getting any starting pitcher when we clearly need one. It is clear as day that we need one. In my opinion, anyway. Green. Has Green been traded yet? No. The Twitter sphere is acting like the Braves are selling because we traded Joey Bart. We're not trading. We're not selling. it's clearing roster space for more additions, which we're getting tomorrow with Sean Murphy and for Ha-Seong Kim, more than likely. We're not selling, guys. That's hilarious. I'm reposting Mark Bowman just for that. That's hilarious that's the perception. We're not selling. They're not selling. It doesn't make any sense that they would sell. Tyler, does being publicly traded hurt or help the Braves? I think it hurts. I mean, it depends how you look at it. I'm sure there's pros and cons. I'm not really an expert in that field, to be completely truthful with you. But, you know. The Eli White thing is clearly to clear a roster spot. Yeah, we are continuing to monitor. I'm kind of just trying to get an idea of what the roster is going to look like tomorrow. Dubon. Remember, you got 13 position players, 13 pitchers. Thomas. Yes. Michael Harris, the second. All right, so yeah, that is official. The trade for Eli White is official. All right, so right now your position players, the 13 position players, go as follows: Acuna, Baldwin, Murphy, Olson, Riley, Albies, Dubon, Thomas, Lane Thomas, Mike Yastrzemski, Michael Harris, Jorge Mateo, Dom Smith, Jim Jarvis. That is until tomorrow when they decide what they're going to do with Ha-Seong Kim, whether they're keeping him or whether they're moving on. So we'll see. But that is the current position player list. And then your, as it stands, which this could change any minute now. They got 34 minutes. Your rotation is Sale, Holmes, Elder, Perez, and Tyler Mahle. That is as it stands. If you get another starting pitcher, I think this all changes completely. Your bullpen, as it stands, in my opinion, is Rysel, Dylan Lee, Dylan Dodd, Didier Fuentes, James Karinchak, Brent Suter, Victor Medeiros, J.R. Ritchie, with an injured Suarez on the outside. But again, if you get a starting pitcher, which I think they still need to do, can't emphasize that enough. If you get that, let's just say it's Casey Mize. It would be Sale, Casey Mize, Bryce Elder, Martin Perez, Tyler Mahle in the rotation. You slot Holmes down to the bullpen, and you probably put J.R. Ritchie back in AAA. When Suarez comes back, you decide then what you're going to do. That's if he comes back. So it's interesting. They got to do something, and they need to do it in the next 33 minutes. Guys, we're following along. We've been here for 2 hours. We're not going anywhere. Thank you for being here. Really do appreciate it. You guys have really supported this today. Great viewership. Can't thank you enough. Remember, though, to like the stream. Really would appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Hit the bell for notifications so that you know every time we do something like this. We'd love to have 573 of you here every night, if possible. So we'll see. Lawrence Butler is Michael Harris's best friend. Wish AA would have tried for him. I like Lawrence Butler. I've met Lawrence Butler, actually. Good dude. I remember when he was just a rookie, and he wanted I'm not going to say that publicly. He wanted to be somewhere else than where he is. Let's put it that way. He's from Atlanta. You put it together. But this year he does have a .211 batting average. Not great. We also don't really need an outfielder, I don't believe. But yeah, Lawrence Butler might find himself in Atlanta at some point. Still need a starter. One Ron, I got the message on BCR. I'm in contact with him. I just can't do it right now. I might do something on Tuesday. Would love to grow the audience. I know they got a big following, so we very well may do that. But I'm growing my audience right now, streaming right here. So make sure to subscribe and continue to help me grow the audience. Would really appreciate it. If I can't get Casey Mize, who would I get? Go down the list. Reed Detmers, Hunter Green. I'm trying to remember who's available. Foster Griffin, George Kirby, Brady Singer, Nick Lodolo. At this point, you need a body in there. Shane Bieber, Hunter Green. There's guys that are available. There's guys that I'm sure are not even on my radar, to be quite honest with you. If we don't, then you have to go with your internal options, which you do have a few. You have A.J. Smith-Shawver, who completely straight up with you. I like A.J. I think A.J. is a terrific pitcher when he's healthy. The question becomes, how healthy is he? And how sure are we that our entire rotation is healthy? Who did we get for Bart? I've already forgotten. Bear with me, I'll find out. It wasn't much. It was a pitcher with a 4.50 ERA after 2 games. It wasn't much. I'll try to find it for you. And Duncan David, however you want to say it. So, yeah, thank you, David. The other reason that we need a starter, just so we're all clear on this, we need a starter for next year. I mean, granted, we're probably not going to be playing baseball next year, but we need a starter for next year because next year you don't know what we're going to have. I mean, you're going to be right back to where we're at, right? Sale, I think he's got an option for next year, and that's great. But, Elder may be great, maybe not. Perez and Malley, that's all you got for next year too. So if you got one this year that has years of control, you can kind of extend the window of your rotation to some degree. Eli's gone, that is for sure. Guys, again, thank you for being here tonight. Really do appreciate it. Can't thank you enough. With another 29 minutes to go, we are within the final half hour prior to the deadline. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen in the next 29 minutes. We're going to be here beyond the deadline, probably till 7, if I had to guess, just to try to get an eye on what's going on. But, yeah, there's a lot going. There's a lot going here that the Braves need to do something. Owen says, I get keeping Dom Smith, but I think our designated hitters need to be Baldwin and Acuna, even though he has been a good fielder and has a terrific arm. That bat is too valuable to risk injuring that leg. I mean, terrific fielder is kind of a stretch. He's had some blunders out there too. I don't know how long Acuna will play the field. It could be, the next 10 years for all I know. But 2 bad knees, I have my concerns there. We got a super chat. Well, I don't want to dog on anybody. I don't know them that well. But thank you very much. I appreciate what your sentiments towards me are. The Nationals are trading all-star left-handed pitcher Foster Griffin to the Guardians. Thank you for the super chat. I really do appreciate it. To the Guardians. So Foster Griffin is headed to the Guardians. That's one more off the books, guys. Reed Detmers, Casey Mize, top 2 available. Unless something else crazy happens. Let's see. Rich at 22 says, I'm on Twitter refreshing Braves and Mize search. LOL. It's got to happen. It's got to happen. Matthew says the Braves have acquired a ton of former Giants for this season. Bart, Yaz, Dom, Smith, and Malley could be more, maybe. Let's see. Let's see. We got Schwellenbach too, Tyler. I know that. Not knocking that at all. Schwellenbach's great, but he's hurt. And I don't know when he's coming back. That's really the question. Hunter Green can dominate a lineup. Look, if we got Hunter Green right now, I'd be very happy. To be quite honest with you. But we'll see. I don't know for sure. He's also coming off an injury. And we just don't know. I don't mind it. I don't hate it, but we'll see what happens. I hope right now we get somebody. Bobby Walker says, why is everyone acquiring starting pitchers except the Braves, who I think need it more than anyone? It's a good question. There were like 6 teams that could have used it. In fact, the Dodgers were technically one of them because they got some injuries with Glasnow and Blake Snell. The Cubs were one of them. We've seen them add. There's, the Guardians were obviously one of them. The Brewers were one of them. So we've seen quite a few teams that needed it do it, and now, we're going to have to wait and see. Chop Shop, thank you for liking and subscribing. Hopefully you're not the only one to do it. Hopefully we got a few subscribers out of this. Let's see. Rock 10 Ginger says Fuentes will be in the rotation next year after being scratched out in spring training, right? I don't know. I mean, they definitely wouldn't mind him being a starter, but I don't think you do it this year for sure, just because I don't know that you want to make such a shift in his training and his, you don't want to risk an injury with him going from the bullpen to starting without being, you've heard, like pitchers talk about they had to get stretched out, right? And that's a real thing. And I don't know that they have time to do that right now. The Nationals are getting 4 players back in the Foster Griffin trade. So let's see where the market sits. This is interesting. All right, well, they don't have it. If you're on Twitter, if you're on Braves Twitter, you'll know a guy named Dr. Bobble. He had a funny tweet. The Braves tweeted out the Eli White trade and Tyler Uberstein deal, and they didn't give it a blue square graphic, and it was pointed out. That's pretty good. Sending our support from Japan. That's awesome. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. That's great. Jeff Nelson says, BS on stretching out. Jeff, I don't use that language in my chat. In all seriousness, stretching out's important. I mean, do we want to see anybody else get hurt? I don't, As far as I'm concerned, wrap them in bubble wrap. Let's see what we got. Zane Pinkleton says, I don't know if you heard, but we have a lot of good internal options. Let's see. Just liked and subscribed. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. What do you think about us going after Trevor Bauer? I answered that question earlier. Look, I'm not here to debate whether or not Trevor Bauer should be in the league. I personally believe he should be. I just don't think it will be the Braves to do it. And to be honest with you, I don't know who will do it because Major League Baseball seems to have quite an issue with Trevor Bauer. So I don't know if anybody will do it. That's my honest take. Joseph Gunter says Torres and Mize to Atlanta for Kim and Dom Smith plus prospects and cash. It's perfect. Sean Murphy to be the DH. Yeah, I mean, maybe. I feel like, I don't really want Baldwin's bat out of the lineup. So if you wanted to put Murphy and Dom as DH, that I'd be okay with that whenever they're not catching. We've spent $0 of Profar money. Yeah, yep. Still following, obviously, 22 minutes of Wolf and Man says, 22 minutes. Tyler, how would you feel if the Braves got Joe Ryan? I'd be very relieved. That'd be the adjective I'd use. I'd be very relieved. Also, I don't think they're going to. I'd be surprised because they've already said they don't plan to move him. Same goes for Logan Webb. I'd be very relieved, but I would be surprised. At this point, if it's not Casey Mize, I don't know where we're going, to be honest. I mean, if it's not him or Hunter Green or George Kirby, I'm starting to believe the chatter that we're not getting anybody. We'll see. Hoffman is on his way to the Twins. Oh, Lord. Foster, Griffin, and Cleveland. Yep. Are they really this confident that Schwellenbach will be ready? I don't know. Is Detmer still available? He is, but the Angels may keep him. The Angels are weird. We all know that. They're weird. Their ownership's weird. They didn't get rid of Ohtani. You know, they could have gotten who knows what back. They didn't do it. So if he's got arbitration, if he's arbitration eligible through 28, it's not a guarantee that he'll be traded, even if he should be. It's like watching everyone at the airport with no ticket. That's a good way to put it. That's about how I'm feeling right now. Bauer is the modern-day Pete Rose. Good way to put that. Chris Poole, Bailey Falter for Paul Skeens, Pirates teammates and rotation mates. Tyler Malley to Logan Webb, Giants teammates and rotation mates. But see, here's the thing. They're not trying to appeal to the players, right? Like, they're not saying, hey, Logan Webb, Logan Webb, I think, would like to play for the Braves. I think I've heard that before. They're not trying to appeal to Paul Skeens or Logan Webb or any of these guys. They're trying to appeal to their general managers, which is harder almost. We'll see. We're waiting, I suppose, on who we're getting for Bart. No, we already know that. It was that Daffin dude. What was his name? Anybody remember? Sorry, I'm not trying to knock the guy. I just can't remember his name. And it's like the second time I've had to look it up. Duncan Davitt. That's who it is. Duncan Davitt. Yeah. Still need a starter. And I feel like it has to happen. I'm getting frustrated. I feel like, I've held out hope for the past 2 hours and 10 minutes that we're going to see something Daffy Duck. Double A is about to be universally hated. Yeah, Kyle Gibbs says, at this point, I just want to see you and everyone's reaction when it goes past 6 o'clock, just twiddling our thumbs. I mean, I'm not one to get, like throw stuff and Frank the Tank it. That's never been my speed, but I will be disappointed for sure. It just was announced that Nathan Eovaldi will not be traded. Full no trade clause, rather. He will not be traded. So we shall see. Hunter Green is from Atlanta and has always said he would love to play for us. I hate to say it, it doesn't matter. Right now, all that matters is what, the Reds are going to get back for him. Mr. Breck says, I was hoping for a starter as well, as that would have been the benefit of making the pen better by moving Holmes or Lopez back. I think if you get a starter here, Reynaldo could be gone. Just out of pure, we don't have a spot. Maybe in September, but, we'll see. TJ Mass says, is there any chance we bring up Caminiti this year or no? I mean, there's always a chance, but considering he just got called up to Double A, I would venture to say no. I think he very well could finish the year in Double A. That's what I'm hearing from those that are closer to that to the Klingstones. I would venture to guess that he's probably going to finish the year in Double A. Who are the top starters still on the board? Yeah, let's go through it. Reed Detmers, Casey Mize, my number one pick, Casey Mize. Emerson Hancock, Trevor Rogers, George Kirby, Brady Singer, Nick Lodolo, Shane Bieber, Max Scherzer, Hunter Green. And we all know Jacob deGrom is not getting traded. Neither is Eovaldi. I would throw in Michael Wacha there just to make sure we don't forget him. He could be moved today too. It's getting quiet, which I will tell you, just because it's quiet right now doesn't necessarily mean we're not getting anything. Because, again, 6 o'clock may pass in 17 minutes, and we haven't done anything technically, but it might come out right after 6. So hang around. If anything doesn't happen at 6, just make sure to wait 10 or 15, because a lot of times things come out a few minutes after 6. Braves still need more than Mize. I mean, maybe. I feel like Mize slots in pretty well, all things considered. Like, if you have that, you have a pretty good rotation for a playoff series. But, we'll see. Matthew says it would be better to bring up Caminiti to start next season so he can get us another extra first-round pick like Baldwin did. I mean, potentially, but if Caminiti's not ready next year, right? He's not ready right now. I can tell you that. He had a 14 strikeout game the other day, but prior to that, he really struggled. He's gotten a lot better, but he was struggling. So it's going to take time for him to get ready for the league, especially the big leagues. I don't see that. I think you're more likely to have a situation where you want to keep him in the minors to keep him a valuable asset until he's ready. If you keep him until he's ready, then you bring him up, great, he's your guy. But if you have any desire to trade him, you don't necessarily want to move him up. All right. The Braves just announced that they acquired right-handed pitcher Duncan Davitt from the Chicago White Sox in exchange for Joey Bart and optioned him to AAA Gwinnett. So there you go. Kind of what we figured. Let's see. Quiet may mean everyone's busy. Yeah, with 15 minutes to go, I hope everyone's busy. Let's see. Chop Shop says, Tyler, what will be your opinion if there are no more moves, no more starting pitcher acquired? I'll be disappointed. I still think this team is going to make the playoffs and make a run, but I don't think I will feel like we have as good of a shot as we could have. That's the best way I can put it. I mean, it would be interesting to me if we somehow pulled it off. Like if Schwellenbach was to come back healthy, Suarez came back healthy, then you have, kind of a reason to understand, well, maybe that's why they didn't pull off these trades. I still feel like we need one, though. There's a question, what is a clink stone? It's not a clink stone. It's actually a cling with a G. I actually have a hat. That right there is a clink stone. It's a peach. It's grown out in California. That is the AA affiliate of the Braves, which is based in Columbus, which is close to where I live anyway, close enough, where I'm originally from too. So it's the ballpark I grew up going to. Being cheap never works. I don't know. We were pretty cheap in 21, Gamer Boy, I'd like to know where you're seeing that. He says the Braves are done. I'm reading that they're not making any more trades. I doubt it. I mean, they may not make another trade, but I doubt they're not trying everything they can until 6 o'clock. A lot of sad faces in my chat right now. I hope the Braves don't make any more trades. Another AAA pitcher, woohoo. Julie says it should have been the Scramble Dogs. You're a lady after my own heart. I am a Scramble Dog fan. If you don't know what a Scramble Dog fan is, that's because you're not from around here. Yeah, I hear you, but we didn't pay very much for those. If you remember those trades, Soler, Rosario, and Peterson, we didn't give a lot up. If I'm not mistaken, I think we gave up Pablo Sandoval for one of those. I mean, we didn't give a ton up there. So I mean, like you're saying, being cheap. This isn't really being cheap. It's being inactive. Okay, cool, Bobby. Good to see a local guy there. I live in Smith Station, so I'm sure you know where I'm at. Gabriel says, Braves are selling. No, they're not. If they were selling, they'd be selling a lot more than what they're doing. Tyler, Golden Park used to host the SEC baseball tournament. That's wild in hindsight. Yeah, if you knew what it looked like when I was a kid, to know what it looks like now is insane. Yeah, if there's someone deserving, best of luck, Eli, for sure. Eli was really solid for us and really solid player. Passon just reposted the Diamondbacks are acquiring Lars Nootbaar from the Cardinals. So Lars Nootbaar is off the board. Not that he was really on our radar, but he is off the board. I thought he would move. Not really surprised. He is headed to the D-backs. So... Bobby Walker says he drives through Smith Station every day, as do I, on my way to work. Yeah, it's a good spot. I like it. It's out of town a little bit. It's actually where my wife is from, so it's why we're out here. I grew up in Columbus proper, I guess, so it's a little bit different, but I like it. All right, that's the Mark Feinstein just said the Nationals received a few things in response to Foster Griffin. We got 11 minutes on the clock, everybody. Moves are still coming in, but we'll see what happens. People are saying we're not selling, we're punting. I see you there, Dion, or who said Joshua Green said that. I don't think so. I'm holding out hope. We got 11 minutes, maybe beyond that. We'll see. Joseph Bryan, Dinglewood Scramble Dog. Cook's place isn't bad either. Y'all are getting real local for me right now, and I like it. But we got 11 minutes. It's got to be Mize, as Joseph Gunter said. It's got to be Mize. If it's not guys, I'm going to be disappointed. If it's not anybody, I'm going to be very disappointed. Captain Lester says he grew up in Auburn. Yeah, y'all didn't realize how local I really was. I'm in the middle of Braves country for sure. Have to understand AA works for the shareholders, not for us, the fans. I get all that, but if there's anybody that wants to be aggressive and help this team win, it's AA. Clayton Adams, the 2021 World Series is the worst thing to ever happen with this management. I get where you're going with that, but I disagree. I think it was pretty fun for all hands involved. Owens says, as of right now, we would be pitching Skubal versus Sale in Game 1, Ohtani versus Elder in Game 2, and Yamamoto versus Malley in Game 3, and we don't have a random Ian Anderson playoff like 2021. I would say that ultimately you'd probably pitch Martin Perez over Malley in Game 3 there. That would be my take on that. AA has 10 minutes to pull off something, or we call for his head. Larry DeShera, thank you for the super chat. He wants Casey Mize. I do too. Trevor Rogers is still a possibility. Baltimore is busy. I'll give you that. We're following it. I am following it as best as I can. In case you're wondering, top names on the board. Detmers, who is arbitration eligible through 2028. He's with the Angels. Very affordable. Casey Mize is available from the Tigers, $6.5 million. He is an impending free agent. Emerson Hancock is available with the Mariners, pre-arbitration, controllable through 2030. Trevor Rogers, who was just mentioned, $6.5 million this year. He's with the Orioles. He's an impending free agent. There are guys available. George Kirby with the Mariners, $6.5 million, arbitration eligible through 2028. Brady Singer with the Reds, $12.5 million, impending free agent. Nick Lodolo is available. Yes, Reed Detmers is available. He is still available. There were false reports earlier that he was going to the Cubs, but that is not true. He is available. Shane Bieber is available, $16 million, impending free agent with the Blue Jays. Guys, last-minute deals happen every year. Don't lose faith now. This is very possible that this will happen. Last-minute deals do happen. They happen more often than we give them credit for, and it's really a call-your-bluff type of situation. And if you want to get rid of Casey Mize, if you want to get something back for Casey Mize, now is the time. So we shall see. It's appalling if nothing happens. It is appalling. I will give you that. And it is a failure on the Braves' part if nothing happens, but we're not there yet. In 7 minutes, we're still not going to be there yet, so make sure you hang around. 15 minutes or so after is when we'll kind of know that the dust has settled and all things are in. Battery, go ahead and go to the bathroom. Go ahead and go to the bathroom. It's going to go past 6. I know it's frustrating. I get all that. I get it's frustrating. Robbie Ray is gone. Robbie Ray went to the Padres. Maybe they'll make a big move tomorrow. No, this is it. 6 o'clock. And really, like I said, give it till about 6:15 because even when 6 o'clock hits, it takes a couple minutes for guys to tweet it out, right? It takes a couple minutes for things to happen and things to go official and all that. So give it a few minutes. We'll see what happens. But we are not done yet. We have great viewership. If you haven't already, like the stream. Really does help us out. And also subscribe to the channel so that you can stay updated with everything going on here on the channel. We really would appreciate it so you can follow us along through the season. We're ever growing. We'd love for you to be a part of it. Dwayne Hester, first time I've ever really followed a live chat, but I'm a huge Braves fan and a huge fan of yours because you're a huge Braves fan. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much for that. I do appreciate that a lot. Roll the dice with Mize. I'm with you. I'm with you. Here we go. We got 6 minutes till 6 o'clock. Imagine what Double A is thinking right now. I haven't seen anything to suggest that the Braves are done making deals. I have seen nothing to suggest that at all. Is this how Moneyball works? Yeah, basically. Let's get Kirby, George Kirby. That could be interesting. I'm good for just about anybody right now. We're getting to the point where as long as we get a starting pitcher, I'll be all right. Soler news. That's a great point. Soler news. That was 20 minutes after 6 or after the deadline in 21. So just like I said, once this hits 6 o'clock, we're all getting real excited. I'm getting a little over energy. The chat's going nuts. All that. But remember, after 6 o'clock, there's still a few minutes. If things were already in the works at 6:55, they may not get done until 6. If things are getting done right now at 5:55, they may not get announced till 6:10. So just bear with us, okay? Anyone with a pulse? Lord. Of Wolf and Man with a great one. Says Dodgers grab Scooble and we got a guy named Duncan Davitt, who I didn't know existed until today. Oh, man. We'll see, Battery. We'll see. All right. 4 minutes. Denise says, frankly, I will have a heart attack if anything is done, and Double A will come out and say, we tried to get deals done, but nothing fit right. I hope not. Let's have some faith. Jeff says, the Braves, I don't feel like did any improvement with the starting rotation. It's not over, guys. It's not over. It may be over, but I don't think it's over. Let's just wait it out. Let's just see what happens. I need something to happen. That would be great, because if it doesn't, I'm going to have to face the world. I really hope it's Casey Mize. At the end of the day, it's on Anthopoulos to get this done. People are clamoring for trades that will ruin the team. Parades over prospects. It's over, unfortunately. It's not over yet, guys. It's not over yet. We still got a few minutes. The clock's ticking, but we still got a few minutes. We don't know what Anthopoulos has been trying to do. You know, he might have, who knows? But we'll see. Double A's making content creation difficult. He's making it something. Well, no, I mean, look, if he finishes off the night with a big move, I'm all good. But this is getting interesting. Zane Pinkleton says, it's just not our year. How can you expect us to go all in with an 8-game lead? Be reasonable, everybody. That's a great point. Oh, man. Twitter's being awful quiet. 15 seconds ago, the Marlins are acquiring right-hander Victor Vodnik. Remember him? From the Colorado Rockies for infielder Connor Norby and right-hander Aiden May. All right. It's going, guys. It's getting late. 2 minutes to go till 6. Remember, guys, I'm going to say it one more time. If nothing happens at 6 o'clock, which is in the next 2 minutes, if nothing happens, don't leave. Give it at least 10 or 15. Soler happened 20 minutes after. So we may find some stuff out well before or well after the 6 o'clock deadline. Just bear with us, okay? Matthew wants Anthony Rendon. All right. If they don't get a playoff caliber starting pitcher, this is going to be something. This is going to be something. Oh, Lord. 2 minutes, 1 minute, 1 minute. Like I said, though, we're counting down like it matters, but you got to wait a few minutes. I'm just continually refreshing Twitter best I can. This is going to be insane if it doesn't happen. It's going to be insane if it does happen, too. But it's going to be insane pretty much no matter what. All right. Nathaniel Lowe to the Reds. Or I'm sorry, Nathaniel Lowe to the Guardians. If we didn't already know that. Yeah, Nathaniel Lowe from the Reds to the Guardians. Not really on our radar, but still good to know. We got less than a minute, guys. Counting it down. 6 o'clock. There it is. Nothing yet, but don't go anywhere. Let's just give it a minute or two. I'm sure we're going to have something said tonight, but hopefully it's the acquisition of something. It is 6 o'clock. Kirby Yates to Pirates. So there you go. Stuff's still happening. Not done yet. Moves are still coming in, guys. People are still coming in. It ain't over yet. It's not over yet. Let's just give it a few minutes. Look, I mean, all right. I'll tell you what. I still think they're going to do something. I still think they're going to do something. But if they don't, then I have to believe it, and this is if they don't. If they don't, I have to believe that they have a lot of faith in their internal options, which is not what we want to hear, clearly. But you know, we'll see. Give me Pete Lavin. That's pretty good. Pete would appreciate that. Oh, man. Oh, me. Mize to Padres. What? Who said that? Are you sure? I don't have that. Where are you seeing that? I'm seeing Mize to Padres quite a bit. Mize to the Padres, really? Wow. Wow. It's not great. It's not great. Oh, Lord. All right. We're going to wait a few minutes before I pass judgment. But Wiley Ballard is currently... Yeah, it's looking as if we're going to go with internal options. Orioles are keeping Trevor Rogers. That is confirmed. That is unbelievable. We're going to find out, Sam, what they gave up for Mize. Pirates get right-handed reliever. Things are still coming in. Lake Bashar for the Marlins. Small moves. Wow. It's interesting. I'm giving it a few minutes before I say anything. But I feel like if your rotation is going to be this, it's going to be Sale, Holmes, Elder, Perez, and Malley. On the outside of that, J.R. Ritchie. I don't know how you look at this rotation and don't think we need a starting pitcher. Yeah, Mize is certain. He's going to the Padres. Well, let's give it a few minutes. Although I will tell you, 680 is reacting as if this is done. The Braves didn't want to panic, or didn't panic is the phrase that they're using. I don't get that. I'd like to hear why, but this just doesn't make sense to me. Well, I mean, if Schwellenbach's healthy, that's one thing. I just I don't get it. Joe Ryan didn't go anywhere. They said they didn't have any interest in trading him. Neither did Logan Webb for that reason. Tim Peake says, you don't get riding the horses that got you 8 games up. I don't know, man. I think we're 8 games up in spite of our pitching staff. I don't get this at all. I don't get this at all. Are we hearing something? Because I surely hope we are. We got another 14 minutes or so before I'm going to really break down what I think of this. I mean, they tried for DeGrom. According to Ken Rosenthal, they tried for DeGrom. That didn't go anywhere. Logan Webb was unavailable. But you're telling me none of the guys were available? You're telling me none of these guys, Casey Mize, who just went to the Padres, was available? Oh, Lord. Yeah, Strider's done for the year. Schwellenbach is very uncertain. It's I don't know what to say about this right now. I'm waiting for the official word, just in case you're out there wondering, like, why am I still on? I'm trying to wait for either something to happen or to get official word that it's over. Right? Like, if I get an email here in a minute or whatever, or Twitter or whatever, and saying that Alex Anthopoulos is going to mention the media or speak to the media or whatever, then I'll know. I cannot imagine that's it. I cannot imagine that's it. Nope. Zach Neto and Reed Detmers are staying with the Angels. Well, so Detmers is off the board. In case you're keeping track, that's the top 5 that I had. Emerson Hancock still available. George Kirby hasn't been officially said that he's not going anywhere. Brady Singer, Nick Lodolo, Shane Bieber, Max Scherzer, Hunter Green. No, Detmers is off. Detmers is not being traded. Hunter Green is not moved. They have not said officially that he's not going to. The only thing I can think is they just knew that the Braves were desperate, so the Braves didn't want a deal. I don't get it. I don't get it. Something still may happen. Soler, that news came in super late, but I think at this point it's fair to assume that this could be it. And you know what? This team is 8 games up. This team is in first place. But at the end of the day, I really believed we needed a starting pitcher. And I am extremely surprised that did not happen with all of what is available. Just to go through it real quick, they did get a starter in Tyler Mahle, but I just feel like they needed one more. So far, Robbie Ray was traded. Clay Holmes was traded. Foster Griffin traded. Casey Mize traded. Trevor Rogers not traded. Dustin May was traded. I don't know. Double A is apparently meeting with the media at 6:30 is what I'm seeing. So that sounds like that's it, if that's the case. Sam, where are you seeing that at? Because I haven't gotten word. Normally I do. And then I'll go through it in just a moment. Bear with me. I want to make sure. I agree, Cool Sports Rhymes. I agree. Tyler Mahle is not a high-level arm. I agree with that completely. But it's what they got. I think at this point, all right, let's go through it really quick. We are acting as if this is over, which it still could in the next 10 minutes. Something could be said, but I don't even know who it would be, to be quite honest with you. What I'll say is this. The Braves did acquire guys to make them better, to make them more complete as an offense, as a team, position-wise. They did acquire Mahle, which I think, again, not an October move. It's a regular season move. It's going to rest your pitching. But again, I definitely think the Braves could have done more. For those that are ready to tear the roof off the place, I hear you, but at the same time, I don't know that it's I don't know. We don't know what was happening behind closed doors, I guess is the fair thing to say. The Astros are done. That is confirmed. But still, feels like the Braves need to do something. Hopefully they did. More tweets are still kind of coming through from different teams. But we will see. We will see. I think at this point, again, it's fair to be frustrated for sure. I try to kind of approach it with, some level-headedness. But I'm frustrated. I think it's fair to be frustrated here. We all wanted the Braves to do more. In case you're wondering, the Padres got Casey Mize and Gage Workman from the Tigers for Cash Mayfield, their number 2 prospect, and a left-handed pitcher, Jackson Wolf. So I mean, it took a big prospect to get it. I think we could have got him too, but we'll see. The Braves obviously believe in their internal options. We're going to have to ride with that if this is indeed the end. I am still, again, following what I can to follow. I'm trying to make sure that we're not getting a buzzer beater here because we're seeing a few. The Phillies made a few minor league trades at the buzzer. So some things are still happening at the buzzer, but we very well may be hearing that, we tried, but nothing came to fruition. That's tough. Yeah. The fact that the Padres were able to pull off the Casey Mize move is frustrating for some reason. I don't know why, but it's frustrating. It seems like everything is coming to a halt, but they are still, Mark Feinsand's still tweeting, Jason Stark still tweeting. I'm going to give it another few minutes. This is rough. So, here we go. What is this? All right, here's another trade. So we're still active. Pirates are sending right-handed pitcher Kyle Robinson, who they got from the A's, for Alec Williams earlier this year to the Angels. It's still going. All right, so obviously not what I think we wanted. But let's look at what we got really quickly. Your rotation as it stands is Chris Sale at the top, Martin Perez following, Elder at number 3, Tyler Malley at 4, Grant Holmes at 5, J.R. Ritchie potentially could slot in as well if you intend to do that. A.J. Smith-Shawver could as well. And don't forget, potentially Schwellenbach, though doubtful. But we will see. In your bullpen, the Braves actually did improve their pen to some degree. Raisel Iglesias, still your closer. Dylan Lee, Dylan Dodd, Didier Fuentes, James Karinchak, Brent Suter, Victor Medeiros, and J.R. Ritchie as it stands right now. Brent Suter being the newest fixture in the pen. But the Braves are standing pat. That's what they're doing. And again, I know the immediate reaction is to be frustrated with Alex Anthopoulos or whoever else you may be frustrated with, ownership. And I get all that, but, we don't know what the asking price was, but I have to imagine that the Braves could have presented a package that could have brought back Casey Mize or could have, gotten us something else, but they decided that, whatever that package was too valuable. You do still have Smith-Shawver and Schwellenbach and Lopez. Maybe that gave Walt Weiss and Alex Anthopoulos and whoever else is making the decisions enough comfort to know that, that it was going to be okay. The Braves definitely were talking to Texas about DeGrom. They knew that starters were the target that should have been in place, but you can't really blame them on that. The Reds completed 2 trades, Nathaniel Lowe and Caleb Ferguson. They are done. 6 p.m. again is the time the trades need to be submitted, not announced. So we're still still holding out a little bit of hope, but I'm losing it quickly. I think that ultimately, if you get a starter here, you've saved the day. let's see. Trinity Clark says Double A is still regarded as a top 3 GM in baseball. Our ownership, even before Liberty Media, has been trash and never wants to outspend and get the guy. Double A and Shearholtz have always been given trash. Yeah, I mean, like, I know that the common thing to do in a moment like this is to be mad at Alex Anthopoulos. And you can be, but I for some reason, I'm more angry with the fact that he wasn't given what was needed to make this trade. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not financials that we're spending. It's prospects. And if we view our prospects to be this valuable, I don't understand that, you know. I mean, I guess they're more valuable in your own dugout as opposed to another one, or your own clubhouse as opposed to another one. But this is something here. At the end of the day, it's not the worst deadline I've ever seen. I mean, last year they didn't do anything, if I remember correctly. This was something. They got, Brent Suter, which is going to help kind of rest your big lefties in the pen, and they got Lane Thomas, which is going to shore up your outfield a little bit. I really thought that they would do more. Mass boost was Smith Shawver is fine. He is fine, health wise. He's in Double A, so that is somewhat, I don't know. It's all right. Schwellenbach is back in September, but even if he's back in September, it's not a lot of time to assess what he's actually going to be able to give. And I think the Braves are gambling a little much on this. Nobody got better in the NL East at the deadline. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, the Mets certainly didn't. They were getting rid of everybody. The Phillies, I think they made a few pieces. It's not the NL East you're playing for here at this point, right? I mean, the Braves have an 8-game lead. It's more you're trying to prepare for the playoffs. MLB Network says we've had more than 20 starting pitchers moved. The goal at the deadline is not only to get starting pitching, but someone who is going to start game 1, 2, or 3 of a postseason series. That's hard to do. The Padres got 2 of them. Tom Verducci on MLB. That's why I'm frustrated. And that's about as good a way as you can put it. The Cardinals acquired Caleb Ferguson from the Reds for $250,000 and international bonus space per source. Stuff's still coming out. We're going to give it till 6:30. But, yeah, this is not what I think anybody wanted. It's okay. It's all right. It's just like I don't think we did all that we could do, and that is frustrating, especially when you consider the start to the year that the Braves had. If this indeed goes through as it seems to be going right now. The Battery, if Skubal does not get traded to Dodgers, would Double A have been more aggressive? Maybe they seemed unbeatable this season. I don't even think it's that. I don't think you look at other teams. I don't think that's how you approach it. I think you look at your team, and the Braves have shown nothing but promise this year. I mean, they've got, again, an 8-game lead after struggling the entire month of June. They've won despite themselves in a lot of ways, mainly the pitching staff. So, yeah, just not. This is frustrating. This is frustrating. And look, I mean, maybe the Reynaldo news that it wasn't going to be as bad as originally thought. Maybe that gave him some comfort. Maybe, Schwellenbach's got a positive note, or A.J. Smith-Shawver's performance the other day gave him some insight on where they're at. I think the question is too, why not Casey Mize? What was the asking price? And I don't know that we'll ever get it, but there's going to be a contingency of Braves fans that are going to be very frustrated with AA. I think Braves media may be frustrated with him. For one, I'm frustrated, but I just want to know the thought process. And right now, I don't know. I don't know. This is odd. Very, very odd. I'm trying to wait it out a few more minutes. We'll see what AA says, if anything. I'm not seeing any tweeting now. I mean, it's getting really quiet. Matthew says, I'm shocked we didn't just get Ray along with Malley. 2 months of Robbie Ray can't cost all that much. Did the Padres just give up a better prospect than we had? I mean, maybe, but I think for me it's more the Braves are very top-heavy with their prospects. They have a lot of good prospects, but they're all either really good or average or not that great. And I think that our average ones are probably the ones we wanted to give up, and we didn't want to give anything more than that. I don't know if Jarvis is going back down. With Ha-Seong Kim, it's hard to know. We'll have to wait and see, but it's interesting. It's very, very interesting. And at this point, this is the team that the Braves have. So, somebody's asking where we can see Alex Anthopoulos' press conference. I don't know, to be quite honest with you. Let me see if I can figure that out. Let's see. Bear with me, guys. They have not announced it on the page that I'm familiar with. I haven't seen anything about a press conference. If anybody does, please put it in here. Yeah, crazy. Why, Dion, I would like to know why you're happy if that's the case. All right, well, let's try to be objective here because I'm going to just assume this is it at this rate. Nothing's been tweeted by any of the big national writers in 5 minutes. I'm going with this is probably done. All right. Again, your rotation consists of Chris Sale, Bryce Elder, Martin Perez, Tyler Malley, and Holmes. Yeah, it's over. I'm getting confirmation now. It's over. So, is what it is. Not happy with it, but the Braves obviously believe in what they have, and that's what we're going to have to go with. So, again, your rotation as it stands is Sale, Martin Perez, Bryce Elder, Tyler Malley, and Holmes. J.R. Ritchie, A.J. Smith-Shawver could very well find fixtures into that as well. Your bullpen adds Brent Suter. Probably will remove Danny Young, if I had to imagine. Your position players. Of course, we acquired Lane Thomas. He's going to platoon in left with Yastrzemski. Cunha in right field. Michael Harris in center. Beyond that, you have Murphy and Baldwin. Murphy will be back tomorrow. If he's not, I'd be very surprised. He'll be back tomorrow. And then, of course, Riley at third, Mauricio at short, I think, primarily. And then Ozzie at second, Olsen at first. Your bench will be Mateo, Dom Smith, and then they're going to have to decide between Jarvis and Kim, I would imagine. So, with that said, guys, it has been fun. It has been a fun 3 hours. We have laughed. We have pouted. We have, been happy. We've been disappointed. This is not what we thought was going to happen, or what we hoped was going to happen. Maybe some of us thought it. But we do this all year long. We try to give you live content on here every day that we can. So I plan to continue to do that. We're going to follow this team, successful or not, into the postseason. And we would love for you to be a part of it. So if you would, subscribe to the channel if you have not already. I talked to a lot of new folks in the chat. I really do appreciate that. But I would really appreciate subscribing as well. We're so close, I think, to 7,000 followers. We might be there now. I don't know. I haven't looked. But I would love it if you guys could help get us there. And obviously, that's the goal. So thank you to those who super chatted. Thank you to those who liked the stream. Thank you to those who subscribed. We really do appreciate it. But it seems as if the Braves are done. So with that, so are we. If Alex Anthopoulos does indeed speak to the media, I will try to get on the call, as well as be a part of whatever they're doing and try to get it to you as quickly as I can. One more time, I'd like to thank our sponsors, Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC in Opelika, Alabama. If you need a vehicle, they are the place to go. They will leave you smiling as you drive off in your new car. Again, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time right here at On Deck.
Baseball fans, make sure you like and share this video and subscribe to this channel. As always, thank you for your support. Baseball fans, make sure you like and share this video and subscribe to this channel. As always, thank you for your support. Baseball fans, make sure you like and share this video and subscribe to this channel. As always, thank you for your support. Baseball fans, make sure you like and share this video and subscribe to this channel. As always, thank you for your support.